Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to the Bincast. It's playoff time, baby. Let's get into this fucking playoffs. I'm so fucking ready. As always, I'm your host Isaiah with my two co-hosts MG Nas and B Christian. How are you guys doing today?
I'm
I'm
doing
doing
great,
good.
man. I'm doing. B. Christensen. Shut up. Anyways, I'm doing good though. I'm chilling, man. This episode's great. As we're recording,
Mhm.
one of our one of our guests helped us get to 100 subscribers. We'll introduce him in a second. But I'm just happy, man. We're hitting 100 subscribers. But Isaiah, hopefully you hit 1K soon. And by the way, I didn't tell anyone this actually, not even B or Isaiah. When Isaiah hits 1K subs, we're gonna do something for him and we're gonna post it on the Bincast channel. Whether we screenshot whatever we do for him, we're gonna do something for him, and it's gonna be on the Bincast channel. So make sure y'all look out for that. Whether he gets 1K in the next week or next month, whatever. But other than that, I'm chilling, bro. I'm
I
ready for
just
this
want
episode.
I want to say this. You did tell me, but anyways.
I told you, yeah, we discussed this, but
Yeah,
keep that quiet. We don't want to give anything up.
How you doing, B Christian? How's your day been?
I'm doing good. I'm just hyped we got 100 subs, and I'm ready to get into this episode. And I'm hyped for tomorrow.
This is a great day, and not only that, we have another 7 guests today. I think this is the most guests we've ever had. Our first guest, as always, the magnificent, the sleepy man of them all. Krupp, how are you doing, butter?
I'm doing good, bro. I'm excited for this episode. It's been a great NBA season. Too bad the
Hmm.
Spurs aren't here, but
Yeah,
Yep.
it sucks. And then our other guest, I don't know how we could talk. He's a couch, but how you doing, Donnie the couch?
Hello, through black magic I was conceived over 500 years ago in the great science labs of Dathul in
Nathul.
England.
Oh,
And I'm here to talk about how the Los Angeles Lakers will be winning the 2021 NBA title this
oh
year.
Okay, I
well,
think you mean
at least at
Milwaukee
least me and
Bucks.
someone there know that's gonna happen. All right, and
Mm.
now for the old man, the actual old man, the wise man, sir from the sea. How you doing
What's
today,
up?
sir?
Good, man. Tough year in the NBA for me personally, but I'm ready to do this podcast. So let's do this.
Sorry to hear about your Raptors. That
Yeah,
sucks, man.
it
Getting
does.
eliminated,
We'll
and
get
then
we'll get back next year.
And now for the biggest, most widest, the most chumbawumbiest, Rocha.
Hmm.
How you doing today, bro?
Well, obviously today could be a little bit better, but I'm doing all right.
Yes. As of this recording, the Warriors were officially knocked out of no, they were knocked out of the play-in, and now are no longer in contention for the playoffs. That sucks,
Hmm.
bro.
Yeah.
And now for the
The
two-headed monster
the
in the
big
sports world,
dogs.
the big
Mm-hmm.
dogs, the guys that run this shit. Josh,
Hmm.
Sean, how are you guys doing today? Whoever goes first. Josh? We'll just say Josh. We'll just say Josh right now. Josh,
Isaiah,
how's
you
your
just
bro?
sold the bag. Everybody comment
What's
ethnic chat
up,
for Isaiah.
Ben Podcast? Thank you guys so much for having us back on. Last
Mhm.
time was a whole lot of fun, and looking forward to getting into these playoff predictions. It's going to be a great time. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, definitely. So, appreciate it, guys.
There you
Yeah.
go.
No problem, buddy. Hey, but look, man, before we get into the playoff predictions, and I can't make this part long because our prediction is going to be long. It's not people doing a prediction for a whole bracket. Um, Rocha, you're doing great on YouTube, bro. My man is skyrocketing. So I want to thank you for helping us get to 100. Obviously, Josh and Sean, they do what they do. They've been doing this since I subscribed to them, and even way before that. Sir from the six, always like he's like the wise man. He's like the grandpa of this. And then
Wow.
corrupt,
Great.
corrupt, and Donnie. They're not content creators, but corrupt is one of my closest friends on this since I've like met him, and I'm excited to have him on. And then Donnie's a couch man. He sometimes can be funny and he can laugh himself when he sees Michelle memes. But I'm just happy to have all these guys on, and I'm excited for today's episode, man.
This is gonna be a great episode today.
This is.
So let's get into it with the first round of the NBA playoffs. Let's go with the 8-1 matchup in the East. We have the 76ers versus the Washington Wizards. Sir, would you like to start us off? Who do you have winning this round one matchup and why?
Well, Philadelphia, beast of the East this year so far. Just pretty good team overall. I think they got a lot of depth this year by adding Curry. Uh, Seth Curry, that is. Danny
Yep.
Green, good outside shooter when he wants to be. I got Philadelphia winning this in 5.
Okay.
Yep.
which is reasonable. I agree with you. I think Philadelphia is just going to be way too good for the East or for these lower seed teams.
I was
Is what I'm
about
trying
to
to
say.
say. But now, Josh, you who do you have winning this?
All right, so the Philadelphia 76ers, Washington Wizards. Congrats to the Wizards fans for getting out of the play-in. I will be going with the Sixers winning in 5 games as well. I respect Westbrook and Bradley Beal for the job that they've been doing all throughout the season. I love how this front court is coming along and progressing with Daniel Gafford, a former Chicago Bull, with with Hutchinson as well. Hachimura has been pretty good. So Wizards got a lot of firepower on the offensive end. I think they could do enough to win 1 game in this series. So give me the Sixers in 5.
Okay.
All right, so we got 2-2 right now for Game 5 for the Philadelphia. Now, Corrupt, who do you have winning this game right here, this series?
It's the two-headed beast in DC, Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal. Can they do something crazy? No, they won't. I think they're actually going to get swept by the 76ers.
Corrupt, you're a smart man. You're a smart man.
I don't know. I just look at the 76ers team and it's like through and through, bro.
Yep.
Girl.
Yeah.
The 76ers are just better.
Yeah.
I don't
It
know. And yes, Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook have been really good this season. Shout out to Russell Westbrook for breaking Oscar Robertson triple double.
Yeah. Mhm.
But Bradley Beal, I don't know how he's gonna be with the lingering injury.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just don't see. I don't even know if they're gonna win 1 game. But I might be a little bit hard on them. But they're gonna get swept by the Suns.
All right. I mean, I respect that. All right, but now, Rocha, who do you have winning this series here?
So yeah, I also got a sweep here for the Sixers. Russell Westbrook's gonna. We've seen him too many times where he'll shoot his team out of a playoff game, and I don't know. I just don't think they have enough firepower to hang with Embiid, Simmons, Curry, and all them. So give me the Sixers in a sweep.
Okay.
You're a smart man, Rocha. Thank you.
And now, Donnie, who do you have winning this series right here?
Well, I actually think it's going to be a sweep by the Philadelphia 76ers. I think this is actually going to be based off of coaching more than anything. The front court presence is going to be a big factor, but I think Doc Rivers is going to put on a coaching clinic versus Scott Brooks, the coach of the Washington Wizards, and I don't think it's frankly going to be close.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And for me, I'm gonna go with Philadelphia winning in 5 games. You know, always with these eighth seeds, they always somehow win one of these games. So I think that's what's probably gonna happen. Maybe in Game 4 or 5. And there's no way Embiid and the fucking 76ers are gonna get beat. They have too much firepower. They're too great offensively, defensively. Give me the Philadelphia in 5. And Sean.
I'm actually I could see them winning 1 game, Washington, because of the talent they do have, but I have this as a sweep though. Like if 76ers play to their full potential and they don't take them lightly, I think the 76ers should sweep. Ben Simmons, his defense, and he can slow down Westbrook. I feel like so, and they got I think like Sir said, Danny Green. I know he can shoot, but he's also a great defender. So yeah, I got Sixers sweep.
All
They
right.
just don't take them lightly.
Now, Hayden, what do you have winning this series?
I want to say this. I have the 76ers in 5, but people are forgetting on the Sixers right now is Tobias Harris. I've not heard his name yet, but I think him, Green, Simmons, and even Curry, they're going to be too dominant even without Embiid. But I do think the Wizards will get the first game on them, surprise them.
And me, as a Sixers fan, man, I think the firepower of Embiid and Simmons in the post will be too much. Obviously, we'll just have one of the worst paint defense, interior defensive teams in the league. Embiid and Simmons, who score predominantly in the interior, will have the matchup there. And if you want to double team Embiid or Simmons, you have Seth Curry, Danny Green, and Tobias Harris to shoot mid-range and three-point jumpers. And defensively, we're just going to be overwhelming to Russell Westbrook. Ben Simmons is going to put Russell Westbrook on clamps. And I just have the Sixers winning the series in 4. And Donnie, you brought up a great point, man. Doc Rivers is going to put a coaching clinic up against one of the worst coaches in the league in Scott Brooks. I have the Sixers in a clean sweep. I don't think they can get a game against us. And Sean said that you think as long as we don't take them lightly, and I agree, we won't take them lightly, and we're not going to, because Doc Rivers has preached all year about playing great against the bad teams is what matters most to him, to show that we can not take teams lightly, and we have respect for the Wizards, but we're going to still sweep them in the series.
Will that be on the test?
Yeah, you got the right answer.
All right, so we can all agree that we have Philadelphia winning this, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right,
yes, sir.
So now to the 2-7 matchup where Serge going to take us Boston versus the Brooklyn. Who do you have winning this game and why, sir?
This series on paper should be fine. Like I thought this would have been really like an Eastern Conference semifinal matchup, but Boston's plagued with Jaylen Brown being out for the playoffs. That's a big blow for them defensively and offensively. I just don't think Boston can hang around. They got swept this year by them, and now we got the big three here in Brooklyn. I got Brooklyn also in 5.
Okay. All right. And now, Josh, who do you have winning this series here with Boston versus the Nets?
I will be going with the Brooklyn Nets, and I have them winning in. I'm gonna go in 5 games as well. I'll get the Nets over Celtics in 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
I think this is too much firepower for the Boston Celtics. So, yeah.
Yeah, and missing Brown is going to be big. Is going to be big defensively wise too. So now with Corrupt, who do you have winning this series?
I might be a little bit too hard on the Boston Celtics, like I was with the Wizards, but I actually have the Nets sweeping the Celtics. I don't think Jason Tatum can do it alone at all. And he does have Kemba. Let's be honest, Kemba Walker's been so inconsistent this year. And honestly, you're going against Kyrie, KD, and James Harden. It's just they're getting swept, I think. I might be surprised, but
okay,
I'm not impressed by the Celtics at all. They've been very disappointing this.
All right, now Rocha, who do you have winning this series right here at the 2-7 series?
I think this would be a much better series if Jaylen Brown was healthy. I'm actually going to go Brooklyn in 5 as well. I think Tatum and Kemba would take over one game and defeat the Nets, but I don't think it's much competition. Nets will be too much firepower for the Celtics, but I'll go in 5.
All right. Now for Mr. Donnie, who do you have winning this one right here?
Give me the Nets in 6. I think this is going to go to 6 because of Steve Nash's inexperience in the playoffs. And I think Brad Stevens is going to take advantage of that for the first 2 games, and they're going to steal them from them. And I also think with the firepower that Jason Tatum is going to have for the first 2 games, and then they're going to finally figure out how to hold him or at least slow him down a little bit to allow their big three to get on the board offensively. So now we got to all remember that Brooklyn does not have a good defense.
No defense.
So it is entirely possible that Brad Stevens sees that and takes advantage of it with the outside shooting.
Yep.
So I think it will go to 6 games, but Brooklyn will still win.
Okay. And for me, I also have Brooklyn beating the Boston Celtics in 5. Tatum's gonna have, in my opinion, he's gonna have one of those 50-point games that he's gonna have, but it's that big-headed monster they have over there. I think it's just gonna be too much. Again, Jaylen Brown was a big part of them having great defensive success. I just think that 3-headed monster is just gonna be way too much for them. And I have Brooklyn winning at 5. And for Sean, what do you have winning?
This one, I should be. Everybody should be saying it's a Nets right here.
Yeah.
Oh, they're finally healthy. Everybody's back. Harden's back. And with Harden, their chemistry has been great, especially with these role players. For some reason, Harden really gelled with them. So I actually have this a sweep. Even if Tatum puts up 50 points, we gotta also remember Kyrie always does great against Boston since he's left, and they have no one that could stop any of their big three. Even if one of them has a bad night, the other ones can go pick it up, and they can all go off for like 20, 30 points a night. So give me Brooklyn in 4.
Okay.
Sweep.
Okay.
Bring up the broom. Okay.
Now, Christian, who
For me,
do you have winning here? Yes.
For me, I have Brooklyn winning in 5. I think Donnie is right about like Brad Stevens just taking advantage of this Boston like horrible defense, and I think Tatum could drop 40 on them easily in the first game and even get 40 in the future too. But I think they're gonna start off hot with one game, making everyone think, and then they're gonna die down like they did a few years ago when they had Kyrie and they played Milwaukee. That's what this series reminds me of.
Okay, and then I'm gonna go with the Brooklyn Nets in 5 games. I just think that Jason Tatum's gonna have one good game along with Kemba Walker. I think they take over one time, and I actually think they do it in game 1, which will be played around the time of this recording. And I just think that once Brooklyn gets a feel of the playoffs, I think they'll the firepower is just too much. And the thing with Brooklyn, I give the Celtics more of a chance if they had a defense, but they just don't. They have no interior defense, and they lost one of their best defenders out for the year in Jaylen Brown. I just think that the offensive clinic the Nets will put on this series is going to be amazing. The only thing that I can give the Celtics in this series in particular is the coaching of Brad Stevens going to be way better, way more experienced than Steve Nash, but it's just too much talent there, along with Jaylen Brown being injured and Kemba being inconsistent, like Corrupt stated a few minutes ago. So I'm going to go with the Nets in 5.
All right. So everybody again with all agreeing that the first and 2 seed are going to move on. Now
Yes,
for the for the 3-6 matchup, we got Milwaukee versus Miami. Sir, would you like to kick us off? Who do you have winning this series and why?
This is going to be a really good series. It all lingers on Jimmy Butler and his health. I know he's been banged up pretty much all year with his injuries and the COVID and everything like that. Milwaukee made some good moves in the offseason. I think Milwaukee is going to win this in 6 games.
Okay. All right. And now for Mr. Joshua Fury, who do you have winning this series right here?
Milwaukee and Miami. I'm going to say this is a 7-game series. Jimmy Butler is probably in the best shape of his life right now. When the Miami Heat released that picture of Jimmy Butler, I mean, this dude is going to be bionic in this playoff series. Both defenses are going to be coming out to play. The offense is going to be incredible. This is going to be a grueling series in the first round in the East. Probably the best series in the Eastern Conference. And I'm going to give it to Milwaukee to edge out Miami. But don't be surprised if Miami pulls it out.
Okay. All right. Now for Mr. Sleepyhead, who do you have winning this series right here, Mr. Corrupt?
So, I really, really like Miami Heat because I love Jimmy Butler and I love Bam Adebayo. But I can't deny the greatness I see or the potential I see with this Milwaukee. I love Drew Holiday on this team, right? And I even think that Giannis will have probably the hardest time in this series because last year the Miami Heat handled Giannis very well. But I do think that Chris Middleton, keep an eye out for him since he's been pretty on and off. But I think Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday both will step up. Now, I think Jimmy Butler will still go off. I don't know. I think Giannis will still be very good in this game. I think Drew Holiday will be the MVP of this series person. He's one of my favorite two-way guards in all of the game. I will have Milwaukee in.
Okay.
All right. Now for Mr. Rocha, who do you have winning this series?
All right, so this is gonna be a fun series. Obviously, we got a rematch from last year, but the problem is the Heat just aren't the same this year, man. They don't have that same feeling they did when they made the finals last year. But I'm still gonna go with Milwaukee here. I'm gonna go Milwaukee in 6. The addition of Drew Holiday, I think, is the biggest reason why the Bucks could go far this year. I just don't like Miami as much as they were last year. So I think they do pull up a couple games with Jimmy Butler going off, but give me Milwaukee in 6.
Okay. Just almost choked on myself. Mr. Donnie, who do you have winning this 3-6 matchup?
Give me the Bucks in 5. I don't think this is going to be much of a contest. I think the Bucks roster is going to be too much for the Heat. And Heat fans, listen to me. Tyler Hero ain't the same. He ain't the same, bro. Like, he's having a sophomore slump. Hey, prove me wrong. Go out there and score on these fucking playoffs, bro. Because I don't see it. This dude ain't the same. If he scores 40 at the freaking first game, and I'll be proven wrong. But give me the Bucks in 5. It's not going to be a contest. Drew Holiday's going to lock up most of the second option players. You're not stopping Jimmy Butler, but that's fine. All the Bucks players do have to score easy buckets on them. It'll be fine.
I love to hear that, Donnie. I love to hear that.
Some Heat fans are delusional.
I love to hear that too because I also agree with Donnie. I don't think this is going to be a close one. Miami could sneak out one, but I have Milwaukee in 5. I think Drew Holiday, the addition of him, this team is already good as it is. Giannis, with all this years of playoff experience, he knows what he has to do against this Miami team. He played them last year. He lost to them. Give me Milwaukee in 5. I trust this team right now more than I do Miami. And for Mr. For Mr. Jonathan?
Oh, man, I can't believe y'all think it's only going to be 5. I think it's going to be a 7-game series, and Milwaukee's going to win. Like Miami, there's no other team that I saw last year that played defense against Giannis like them. Eric Spoelstra, let's not forget about him. He's a great coach. And Jimmy Butler, he's a general, man. And when it comes to playoff, he's completely different. And so they're healthy right now. And Bam, Defensive Player of the Year candidate, got snubbed a little bit on the finalists. But this team knows how to play Giannis. They're confident against Giannis. So Milwaukee, they're going to win. Drew Holiday's a reason for that. But it's still going to be a 7-game series because Miami's not – there's no quitting this team. So it's going to be 7 games.
I would love it to go to 7 games, by the way. That'd be awesome.
I would not. Nope.
And for Mr. Hayden Christensen.
I just want to say this. I love all the Bucks picks. I love it. But
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Before we start. Isaiah, why'd you just give out my man government name like that, dog?
I didn't give out no government name.
His name is Hayden Christensen, dog. Golly, bro.
I mean, the people didn't need to know that, but you're the one who's like stating it out.
His government name. Anyways,
hey, I'm the
Hayden,
actor.
go ahead.
Come on now. I'm that actor.
Go ahead, Hayden.
No, but I will be live for game 1 for sure tomorrow, and probably for game 4 and 5 if it does go there.
Probably.
Yeah.
4 and 5.
But
okay.
I agree with Donnie and Isaiah. I think this is going to be a 5-game series because the last game we had against them like a few days ago, Giannis only had 15 points, and look at the domination we had and like I know Butler wasn't in, but that was a 15-point different game when they were basically missing Butler. And this team can score. It can score this year. So I have Bucks in 5.
They've always been able to score. And to everyone saying it's going to be a 5-game series, are we also going to just completely overlook the fact of all the past years that Milwaukee kind of just lags in the playoffs and how they're such a slow starting team? And they underperform every single year. We're going to forget about that?
No, we're not. No, we're not.
I mean,
we're not going to forget about
conveniently you guys left that out, but
No, we're not going to forget about that. But to go along with defense, you need scoring, and this Miami team does not have the same scoring ability that did last year, and that is my big concern for for them, especially the fact that Tyler Hero does not look the same. And this playoff Tyler Hero bullshit, I don't like.
And this,
I'm not saying that it's only Tyler Hero. I'm saying that
you're only saying Tyler Hero, though.
Okay, but like I'm also saying the fact that scoring as a whole, as a team, has not been the same as from the finals run last year. I'm saying Tyler Hero specifically because he's the best scorer on this team, not named Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler's going to be Jimmy Butler, but we have not seen his second option, Tyler Hero, be the same as he was last year. Duncan Robinson also needs to step up. So does Kendrick Nunn. But I don't see it that way. Hey, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, bro. I'll take the L. I'll take the L and eat it right now.
Milwaukee added some good pieces too with Brian Forbes and Bobby Portis Jr. too. So that's why I think they have a little bit more depth as well.
Yep.
Look, I agree with a lot with some of you guys said. A lot of you guys have 5 games. A lot of you guys have 7 games. This is why I have this series ending at 6, because I'm in the middle. I agree with Donnie the fact that Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero and Kendrick Nunn need to improve their game, and they significantly fell off since last year. But I also agree with Josh in the fact that we forgot the Bucks start off slow. Why did they lose 1 game to the Orlando Magic? And I know they still win a series in 5, but they start off slow, and that's just what the Bucks do, man. And I have this in 6 in favor of the Bucks. because I do think that Miami will actually be up 2-0 and choke this series, because I feel like once the Bucks figure out how to break the wall that the Heat like to do against Giannis, the zone wall, I think once they figure that out, I think it's go time for Giannis. And I also agree with, I think Corrupt brought this up about the addition of Drew Holiday. That's going to take pressure off Giannis, because now Giannis doesn't have to worry about stepping up and guarding Butler, because you have a guy and Drew Holiday to do that, to defend Jimmy Butler. So now Giannis can play his weak side defense, playing dropping off the pick and rolls and playing that interior defense that Giannis is great at. And when Holiday is defending Jimmy Butler, I think this is a significant change, because Drew Holiday, and like I said, man, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, Kendrick Nunn have to step up, and I don't see them doing that.
All right, so first off, that's not Drew Holiday's role here. That's supposed to be Chris Middleton's role, to ease off the pressure scoring wise for Giannis, who's still the guy, and it's Middleton's job to be that guy who eases up the score. Drew Holiday is such a key factor, and thank God they got Drew Holiday. That was such a great pickup for them. Because if they didn't have Drew Holiday, I might just say Miami beats Milwaukee in this first round.
I agree.
Because here is what Drew Holiday brings to this series and for the Milwaukee Bucks. Toughness and tenacity, because that is what they lacked in years past. And hopefully they feed off that defensive tenacity, that mental toughness in the playoffs Drew Holiday will bring for them. And hopefully they feed off that, because that's something that they've been lacking in years past.
Well,
that's majority his role.
What I meant by Drew Holiday taking the pressure off Giannis was mainly the defensive end, more defensive than Giannis.
Right.
Offense.
Okay.
Because like I said, Giannis doesn't have to guard Jimmy Butler. He doesn't have to step up. Like people last year were saying, Giannis step up and guard Jimmy. He doesn't have to worry about that pressure anymore. Now Drew Holiday can come guard Jimmy Butler. I'm sorry, and Giannis can play the best interior defense, and arguably not in the league, but top 5 interior defender in the league, because he doesn't have to step up and guard a guy like Jimmy Butler. And I agree, man. The toughness, it just increased when you add Drew Holiday, a guy who's going to play tough defense and who's going to be aggressive offensively when you want him to be. And like I said, that's why I have it in 6. I don't think having it in 5 is disrespectful, because of the slow start of the Bucks. And that's why I have the Bucks losing the first 2 games, also winning the next 4. And that's just what I think.
Right.
BIN podcast, a 7-man undisputed.
All right, so we have a lot of us choosing we can all agree that we're all agreeing that we choose Milwaukee, right? Just how we think Miami's playing differently, right?
Just how we think they play is different, but we all have Milwaukee.
All right. So now to move down to the 4-5 series, we have the New York Knicks versus the Atlanta Hawks. Sir Carden, sir from the 6, would you like to take us to this matchup first?
Isn't it great to see the New York Knicks in the playoffs, guys?
Yeah.
In a long, long time coming. And this team is for real. I really like the makeup of this squad by adding Derrick Rose at the trade deadline. That was a huge move for them to pick it up. And Randall having a career monster year. This series, I think, is going to be my favorite of the first round. It's going to go back and forth. It all comes down to coaching. Thibodeau, one of the best. We'll see if this continues. This is going to go, I think, 7 games, and I think the Knicks are just going to get by and win this in 7.
Okay.
All right, now, Mr. Joshua, who do you have winning this 4-5 matchup?
The fact that we're going to have a playoff game in Madison Square Garden is going to be such a huge relief, not just to New York Knicks fans, but for NBA fans, especially old school fans. This means the league is getting healthier, and it is incredible to see. The Knicks have the number 1 defense in the league. Atlanta, they have a pretty good offense. They have multiple guys who could score, not just outside of Trae Young. They have John Collins, Bogdanovich, Herter, Gallinari. I'm going to go with the New York Knicks. They have better coaching. They have better discipline. I'll go with the Knicks in... I'm going to go with the Knicks in 7.
Okay. I like it.
All right. And now for Mr. Corrupt, who do you have winning this series right here?
So I'm going to go with the Knicks in 6. I think, first off, I like Tim Thibodeau a lot. Coach of the year. Anyways, I really like the addition of Derrick Rose. I think he's going to be very important in that series. And of course, I can't forget about Julius freaking Randle, who's been going off this year, dude. I think he's just gonna take it over in this series, and of course, RJ Barrett's gonna do good too. Now, Trae Young, I like Trae Young, but sometimes he can be very inefficient from three. I don't know how they're gonna do first time in the playoffs. I mean, it is first time in the playoffs for the Knicks too, but I don't know. The defense for the Knicks is pretty good. I'm gonna go the Knicks in 6.
Okay. All
Wow,
right.
okay.
Now, Mr. 29K, who do you have winning here?
I agree with Crap. I'm gonna go Knicks in 6. I love their defense, man. This team with Julius Randle, probably the most improved player. Got potentially the coach of the year in Tibbs. I think Corrupt nailed it. What is Trae Young going to look like in his first playoff series? Is he going to be good? Is he going to be inefficient? I think the Knicks defense will be able to stop them, and I'm going to go Knicks in 6.
Rocha, I don't mean to, I don't want to disagree with you, but I kind of have to because isn't Julius Randle also his first playoff appearance? Isn't
That is true.
RJ Barrett, who is known to fold in the big games, is
he would be. He'd be the one I'd worry about if I'm New York. I'm not worried about Randle. I think he'll step up. But Barrett, he needs to step up. He definitely needs to be good for them to win this series.
I think with both
at all in any games.
have lack of playoff experience. I'll explain more when
Absolutely.
All right, now, Mr. Donnie, who do you have winning this series right here?
This was the most difficult matchup to pick in the first round for me.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with the New York Knicks in 7. No.
Okay.
No, I'll go 7. New York Knicks is 7. I think the defense is going to be too much for the Hawks to handle. I think it's going to be an out. This is tough. I'm just going to say it's going to be a back and forth series, rather. This is so tough for me to pick because I love Atlanta. Atlanta's such a good team. Their mid-range shooting is beautiful. Clint Capella should have been a Defensive Player of the Year candidate.
Yep.
But other than Clint Capella, they don't really have any top tier defenders on their team. Clint Capella is a beast. Don't get me wrong, but Trae Young doesn't play defense. Danilo Gallinari, does he play defense? I mean, he plays okay defense, but he's not really gonna stop a guy like Julius Randle. John Collins, I mean, he can play defense at times that would be really, really good on a top tier team. But are we going to really match him up on Julius Randle?
No.
Or RJ Barrett?
No.
Or even Nerl? Well, he can match up on Nerlens.
Their best defensive, one of their best defensive players is Kendrick Nunn in the backcourt.
Huh? Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick Nunn.
Kendrick Nunn.
What?
You mean Dunn?
You mean
Kendrick Dunn? Did I say?
Oh,
did I say
you said Nunn.
Chris Dunn, you mean?
Chris
Dunn.
My bad.
Okay. Kendrick Nunn plays for Atlanta.
But
I know.
I will say this: it is going to be interesting to see how Lou Williams does in this playoff series because Lou Williams has been known to take it down a tick in the playoffs. Not as bad as a guy like Paul George, who I'll get to in a second, but a guy that wouldn't be as good as a sixth man of the year in the regular season. So that's going to be an interesting storyline to watch. But overall, this is going to be the best series in the first round for me.
100%, man.
All right, and for my prediction, I have the New York Knicks winning. And this is not only good for the city of this is not just good for New York. This is good for the NBA when the Knicks are winning. And I have the Knicks winning in 7. Trae Young, I understand he's an inconsistent shooter, but you also got to realize New York is terrible offensively. Not terrible, but they're not good offensively when it comes to shooting. And I think with them still having a great ass defense and them still being super young going into the playoffs as well as Atlanta, I think this could be a 7-game series. And and hot take here, only one of these games goes over 100 points for one of these teams. I think New York could do that. And now to Mr. Jonathan, who do you have winning here?
I think we're just keep it going. I got the Knicks. Playoff time comes down, the game slows down. Turns into a half-court game that benefits the Knicks. with their defense and stuff like that. And now, yeah, the Knicks, both these teams are a little inexperienced in the playoffs. But the good thing is having Tibbs over there. That's a huge deal. He's been in the playoffs before. He's coached in the playoffs before. I think he'll be fine. D Rose and Taj Gibson, those guys, those veterans, have been great, and great leadership from them, and D Rose especially. Whenever he's going, their offense looks good. It's got good flow.
Yeah.
So yeah, their offense can be a little bit, stagnant sometimes. The Knicks can, but when D Rose is healthy and he's playing, it's completely different. And this guy is a monster. So I got Knicks actually in 6 to win this.
All right.
All right.
Now, Mr. B. Christensen, who do you have winning this game?
This, I think it's going to be... I think this could be the best series in the East. I do. Followed by the Bucks, of course.
Okay.
But Julius Randle has become hope in the city of New York this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that hope that they have will get them to the next round. I think the Knicks will win in 7.
Okay.
I've seen this Knicks team pull up an upset against me. It's possible. This team, I think we all can agree, we want to just see them win.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Like,
Yeah.
they're like everyone's dark horse, I bet. From
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. I agree. And I agree with most of you in here. I have the Knicks in 7, man. The Knicks, this is gonna be a hard series though. When I look at this series, I look at offense versus defense. Knicks have one of the best defensive teams in the league. When the Hawks are hot, one of the most efficient offense in the league. But they also could be inefficient when Trae Young is just chucking up shots from 40 feet deep. But when I look at the series, right? Like I said, I look at offense versus defense. Can the Knicks outscore the Atlanta Hawks? No. But can the Atlanta Hawks clamp up the New York Knicks? This is why this series is so close. This is so fun. But when you look at it, man, I look at Julius Randle being a powerhouse this series. I look at Trae Young being the star that we think he has the potential to be. But when I look at it, man, I think defense and coaching that the New York Knicks have, and as both teams are very inexperienced, one thing about the Knicks, they have Derrick Rose, who's been in those tough series before. And I just got the Knicks in 7. I think it's gonna be a really close series. And that in the clutch, I trust Julius Randle more than I trust Trae Young in a Game 7. Go get a bucket situation. I just think Julius Randle will be a little bit too much. Who'll dominate his matchup versus John Collins, and I have the Knicks in 7 games.
Okay. All right. Now we're gonna stay in the East. We're gonna go to the basically the division rounds. We have the 1-4 matchup here.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Sixers versus the Knicks, who we just talked about a second ago. Sir, from the Six, who do you have here winning this series?
This is going to be a fun series. It's going to be pretty close. I think this goes 6 games. Maybe this year Doc Rivers finally will get to a conference final. I think Philadelphia can win the series in 6. Don't be surprised if the Knicks win, though.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Now, Mr. Joshua, who do you have winning this series and why?
This is going to be interesting because you're looking at 2 of the best defensive teams in the Eastern Conference. Great coaching from both teams. But the 76ers, they got Joel Embiid. The New York Knicks, they don't. And they have great outside scoring for the 76ers going for them. Give me Sixers to win, and I'll have them win in 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, Corrupt, who do you have winning this series?
So, I'm going to be a little bit interesting here. I will have the 76ers win, but I think they're going to win quite comfortably. I'm going to have Philadelphia. Another reason I do say that is because, yes, they are both good defensive teams, but I think Mr. Ben Simmons over there, Defensive Player of the Year, is going to... I don't know. Joel Embiid's going to do good. I think the defenses are pretty close to each other. And then, of course, the 76ers clearly outrank the Knicks offensively. I don't know. I just don't see the 76ers having a problem with...
Okay. I like it.
So, Philadelphia on 5.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, Mr. Rocha, who do you have winning this series?
swear to God, dude, corrupts like cheating. Like he's literally looking at my bracket. I also,
Morgan.
I also have Philadelphia in 5. Like, I mean, I think it'd be a fun series, but like talent wise, I just think the Sixers are better than the Knicks. Obviously, I think the Knicks will give it definitely a great fight, but I don't know. I think they'll pull off one at MSG. But I have Philly in 5, man. I feel like they're gonna handle the Knicks pretty well.
Yes.
All right. All right. Now, Mr. Donnie, who do you have winning here?
I have the Philadelphia 76ers in 6 games. I'm in complete agreement with Sir from the Six. I think this is going to be a great series, great fun series. I would not be surprised if it went to 7 games, and I would not be surprised if the New York Knicks won the series. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think the 76ers are going to lose the first 2 games, and in the next 4 they're going to win. The 4th game is going to be interesting because I think they might choke that, but like that's a story for another day. Overall, I think offense beats defense here. If you have a bad offense and a great defense, you're not going to go far, in my opinion. So I have Philadelphia in 6.
Well, for my pick, I also have Philadelphia, but I have Philadelphia winning in 7. 2 great defensive teams. I understand Joel Embiid. You also have Tobias Harris over there. You have Curry. You have you got Danny Bum Green when he's good. But I just feel like New York finally they want. Let's say they do win that first series. They're gonna be ready. They understand what the playoffs are all about. And also gonna look at this. The last 2 times the New York Knicks played the 76ers, they lost, but the most they lost by was 3. And I think they're going to keep it close in a lot of these games. And I really think I understand Joel Embiid's an almighty who could be who's a MVP candidate, but I think New York is going to put a fight and is going to claw their way, going to put their face on the map, saying, "Hey, we're here too. We're going to be fighting here in a couple of years from now. We could be fighting for a title anytime soon." So give me Philadelphia and 7 for right now.
Okay.
Mr. Jonathan, who do you have here?
I do think, just like Rocha, that Corrupt's over here copying our brackets because I have 76ers in 5. I just they're both great defenses. Then you're trying to compare them, right? And you look at all the things, and 76ers offense. Just I think I wouldn't even be surprised if this is a sweep. No disrespect, but I feel like it's gonna be close games. I think I think 76ers just have better offense to be able to close out games a little bit better. And Ben Simmons, obviously, Defensive Player of the Year. Joel Embiid, possibly, they're great defensively on each level. So, I could see that. I have this in 5 because I still think the Knicks can pull off 1, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a sweep.
And to expand more on that, I mean, let's be honest. If you look at the Knicks roster compared to the 76ers roster, it's far. Julius Randle's cool, but Joel Embiid's like way better. Then you're forgetting Tobias. Well, not forgetting, but Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid is just so fucking much. I see honestly sweep Philadelphia or 5, maybe 6, but I just don't know. And their offense is very, very questionable for the Knicks. So,
and I'm worried about RJ Barrett because even towards the end of the year, like there's games when we were watching, he just looked like it was sometimes the moments were too big for him, right?
Yeah.
And so that when you look into the player's eyes and it just looks like that scares me. Now playoffs, MSG, like, oof. Yeah, it's that's why I think it could be a little scary for them.
To expand on that more from their point of view, I think depth is going to be a real issue for the Knicks in this series. I think, as we've seen with Tom Thibodeau's coaching style over the years, he's going to play his guys too much, and they're going to get tired real quick. And I don't see that happening per se because I think the Knicks are going to want it too much. Excuse me. But if that does happen, I think it does have a real good chance of going to 5. I don't think it'll be a contest. Thibodeau has to work on just not playing his guys too much. That's been his Achilles heel since he's been a coach in the NBA.
All right. B?
All right, now Mr. Hayden, who do you have winning here?
So, you guys brought up a lot of good points about this matchup. You did, and I agree with they could get swept or lose in 5. I also agree it could go to Game 7, but I'm going somewhere in the middle. I'm thinking 6 games. This will be. Yes, the 76ers have Joel Embiid. They have Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, Steph Curry, Danny Green. They have those keys. But New York, this New York team is the best I've seen in my life. Like,
Yeah.
You are 18.
Wait, do you have the Sixers winning or
I do.
the Knicks
I do.
winning?
I have the Sixers.
Okay.
winning 6. I want to get that clear. I think the Knicks
didn't
could
clear.
go farther next year, but not this year. They have a possibility, depending on how they treat the offseason. But I think the Sixers, Joel Embiid would just be too much at the end of the day. But I think New York, that hope, that can motivate a team. Like, hey, they're saying we're the underdogs. Let's prove them wrong. I think that motivation will get them to 6 games.
All right. I get hyped up when I talk about my team, especially in a big playoff series like this. I heard a lot of points that I disagree with. I want to start off with addressing Donnie. We're not going to lose the first 2 games at home because we are significant. We are, I believe, the best home team this year. I actually believe we'll go undefeated at home in the playoffs this year. So I disagree with that. I just don't think it'll go to 7 games. I actually agree with the guys who said it's going to go 5. Because Sixers, I think we're going to win in 5. When you look at RJ Barrett, that's the first guy I look at. Ben Simmons is going to be guarding him. Ben Simmons is one of the best defenders in the NBA, if not the best defender in the NBA. He's going to be guarding a guy in RJ Barrett who folds under the bright lights. That's the first thing that I look at when I look at the series. And then who are you going to put Joel Embiid on? Nerlens Noel, okay, that's barbecue chicken. Julius Randle, whew, that's a size advantage. And then Tobias Harris, you're going to double team Embiid. When Simmons gets aggressive and drives to the rim, you're going to double team him. Tobias Harris, and if you guys don't pay attention to Sixers games, you guys might not know this, but usually when you double team Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris is 1-on-1 with a 6'3" guard. If you guys don't know, Tobias Harris is 6'8". He's gonna have such a height advantage to shoot over guys in the mid range, and we're just gonna powerhouse them. I think the Knicks get 1 game out of respect for what they've done this year and the fights that I've seen them put up against the Sixers. At the end of the day, we're just too big, too strong, and the coaching matchup is going to be pretty good. But when you look at our offense and then the defense of the Sixers, I mean, who other than Randall, we can defend every guy on the court at a high level. So on offense for the Knicks, it's going to be a 1-man show with Julius Randle, and on defense, they can't hold us. They cannot hold us. And go ahead, double team Embiid, double team Simmons, double team Tobias. You're gonna have Danny Green and Seth Curry outside shooting them lasers, and then Matisse Thybulle on the defensive end. He's gonna be amazing, and he's my sleeper for the Sixers this year playoffs. I have the Sixers at 5, man.
Will this also be on the test?
Yes.
Whatever, if you want it to be, bro.
Oh,
Donnie,
okay.
everything's on the test.
All right. Moving on to the 3-2 matchup. Who do you have here, sir, and who do you have winning this 3-2 matchup?
This could be a pretty fun little series here. The last couple of games of the regular season, Milwaukee destroyed them 1 game, and Kevin Durant missed a game-winning shot at the end. Milwaukee also, I noticed, isn't the same team at home. So I think this could be a do or die for them. I think Milwaukee's going to lose this series. I think Brooklyn's just going to be a little bit too strong. I got them winning in 6 games.
Okay. Well, you said who in 6 games?
Brooklyn in 6.
Brooklyn.
Okay. All right.
I think
Now,
everyone
Mr.
has Milwaukee, Brooklyn
Miss-
here.
Mr. Joshua, who do you have here, and who do you think is going to win?
I'm going with Brooklyn in 6 as well.
Okay.
All right.
Josh,
Anything
we've
to say
had the
about
same
this?
picks all things so far. You know that, right?
We basically did pick all the same for like
I
winners.
think for the East, we've all
Yep.
had. All right, now for Mr. Corrupt, who do you have here winning?
So, I actually went back and forth on this one a lot, and I really like the Bucks. I really like Drew Holiday. I really like, and man, I think I'm gonna go with the Nets in 7. At the end of the day, it's KD, Kyrie, and James Harden, and that's kind of like just putting it vaguely, but I just don't know. I think this is where Josh mentioned earlier, where the Bucks lag in the playoffs and but man, this can easily. I think the Bucks are better than a lot of other people think, but I think the Nets are talented, so I'll go Nets.
Okay.
All right. Now for Mr. Rocha, who do you have here winning?
Bro, I swear to God, dude. I have Brooklyn in 7 as well. I think this could be one of the best matchups in the playoffs, man. Can Giannis get it done? Can that trio get it done? Drew Holiday, man. It's going to be a back and forth series. This could go, win-win for each team. Give me Brooklyn in 7. I just think the offense is going to outduel the Milwaukee's offense. Give me KD, Harden, and Kyrie in 7, baby.
Okay. Now, Mr. Donnie, who do you have here winning this series?
This is tough. This is going to go to 7 games. I think this is going to be one of the best playoff series in the entire playoffs until the finals. But give me Brooklyn in 7. I think James Harden is the key that Brooklyn just makes past Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee's going to dominate the paint. Absolutely dominate it. But the outside shots are all going to go to Brooklyn. They're just going to – it's not even going to be a contest on the outside. And I think Steve Nash goes to his first ever Eastern Conference Finals as a NBA coach.
Okay. And I'm going to agree here with everybody else because we all agree that Brooklyn is going to win this series. But I have them winning in 7. Agreeing with Donnie, the Milwaukee Bucks are great in the paint, but fucking outside shooting from Brooklyn. And you also got to look at if Milwaukee slows down, they're going to lose the game. Because if Brooklyn gets hot, you're not winning that game. Brooklyn will just keep on draining threes and fucking far range twos, and you're never going to catch up. And also to go with them not playing good in like getting close to the championship, like they've had in the past in the second round of the championship game. Give me the Nets in 7. Now, Mr. Sean, who do you have here winning?
Oh, we all in agreement so far? Has everybody said Brooklyn?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep the train going. Yeah, give me Brooklyn. Brooklyn in 6. The Bucks, they can make this very interesting. I think it could go to 7 games. It could, but I feel like after a good first round series, I think the Brooklyn Nets will have all the chemistry they need. I already think their chemistry is not going to be too affected. But either way, they're going to get in good rhythm. And I think just hard, like I said, man, these guys, even one guy has a bad night, they're just great. So I'm going to go Brooklyn in 6.
Okay.
All right.
Now, Mr. B. Christensen.
I want to break
Yeah.
it.
He might
break
the train.
I'm going Milwaukee in 7.
I knew it.
Let's go.
Why?
Because this series is the biggest circle I have for Milwaukee this whole postseason. This right here. And I decided to do some digging. All of our games so far in the regular season, we played a 3-game series. First time, I know they did not have the big 3. I will say that out of the bat at all. But this has never been one side dominates the other. It's always been close, amazing matchup. I think we're one of the best teams in the East to match up against the Nets.
Mm-hmm.
And in every game we played versus Brooklyn, Giannis had 35-plus points. Holiday had 20-plus. Middleton, I believe, had 23-plus. And that's our big 3. And coming off the bench, Portis, I noticed a trend of 10-plus. Bryn Forbes would have a consistent game. This Brooklyn defense is a big red flag to me for this team. And yeah, KD even said himself, there's no way you can slow down Giannis. I just want to point that out. He knows he's not going to be able to stop him. And seeing this and seeing how fast-paced and how close we kept it, I just have a feeling, that Milwaukee will get it done and upset the Brooklyn Nets and shock the world.
All right.
All right, and before you continue, you said they kept it close, right? In each one of them,
Yes. In every one.
in each one of those games you guys played.
Yes, our only loss.
How many times did you play? How many times did you play them full healthy?
The first matchup we played, they did not have the big three. The second one, it was the other two was. I did say this; they weren't healthy. I did say that though.
You said
Yeah,
that.
I don't think a healthy. I don't think you beat them healthy. You said they keep it close when they're not healthy, and for them to be healthy, I think they still win. But I still think you guys keep it close. But there's no way you guys win. I mean, it could happen. There's been bigger upsets we've seen.
I agree.
But
All right.
I respect it, though.
Yeah.
I look, man. This series is gonna be amazing. This is gonna be probably the best playoff series. But I see red flags for both teams. Red flag for the Brooklyn Nets is the defense. Red flag for the Brooklyn Nets also is James Harden as a playoff performer. And I'll get to that because some people might disagree with me that James Harden will have another bad playoff performance, particularly in the clutch. And then the red flag for the Bucks is Giannis in the playoffs. So let me dive into this. So we got Giannis, we got Middleton, Holiday, DiVincenzo, Lopez, Bobby Portis, all of those team guys. Then we got the Nets, the big three: Blake Griffin, Jeff Green, Larry Duchamp, all those guys, right? You guys in the rosters. This is a great matchup because no one's gonna be able to guard Giannis. DeAndre Jordan, you put him on Giannis, that's barbecue chicken. You put Jeff Green on Giannis, that's fried chicken. So no one's guarding Giannis, but Giannis, him underperforming in the playoffs is just huge. When the lights get bright, it gets too big for him. But same with James Harden. But the thing is, man, I don't think that the Bucks will be able to coach to play a great defensive game plan, even though the Bucks have a great defense in general. Um, I just don't see Mike Budenholzer doing that. I haven't seen him do that, and I don't see him doing that yet. I have the Nets in 7, particularly because I think the Bucks will keep it close. I think Giannis will give effort, but I just think that the defensive game plan that you have to play on Brooklyn, which I'll get on in a little bit, I don't think that the Bucks will do that because Mike Budenholzer has never done that throughout his playoff career. So give me the Nets in 7. I think the Bucks will keep fighting, but I just think that the offense of the Knicks just explode in the series.
I want to add on one more thing. In this playoffs particularly, I want to see how the Brooklyn Nets role players play. It's the same thing with my Los Angeles Lakers role players. I want to see how both of our teams' role players play because I think those are two big question marks with our team. And I'll say this: if the Brooklyn Nets role players play like they did in the regular season consistently, they're winning the NBA Finals.
Okay.
And that's no hesitation.
I respect your opinions.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now to the Eastern Conference Finals, where I believe all of us agree that it's going to be the 1 and 2 seed. We have Philadelphia versus Brooklyn. Sir, who do you have here winning this series?
This is going to be a fun series. Brooklyn in 7.
Jesus Christ! All right, Mr. Joshua, who do you have here winning in this series?
I actually disagree. I think this will be a terrible series. I think the Sixers sweep the Brooklyn Nets.
Let's go, Josh.
Wow.
Hey, yo, I always knew you were. I always knew Josh was smart.
Wait,
Like, give me the Nets in 7, like sir.
Oh shit! All right, now to Mr. Corrupt, who do you have here winning?
So I'm going Philly in 7.
Whoa.
It's a feeling in my bone.
Okay.
I don't know. I just like it.
You're a
I like
Sixers
the
fan?
feeling.
Thank you, man. It's like,
I don't know. I look at it and I look at the defense from the Nets, and I'm like, there's times where, this team just needs to have some sort of defensive anything, and I think Philly can use that to their advantage. While I think they can keep up with the Nets. I think the Nets will be a better offense, of course, but I like the shooters that the 76ers have, and of course you have Joel and fucking Embiid. And of course, I think Tobias Harris will have a big role in this playoff series. I think you're going to see a lot of Tobias Harris step up. in this series. And I think, of course, Ben Simmons is going to have one of the best defensive performances in the playoffs in general.
Yep.
And I do think I'm going to ride that James Harden chokes in the playoffs kind of thing.
Mhm.
I might be I'm a little bit of a Spurs bias, but I think James Harden will underperform a lot in this series. I don't know. I just have. Other than that, I understand it's KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. Other than that, though, it's just a feeling. It's just that gut feeling on 76ers. It's just telling me to go with the 76ers. So, got the 76ers in 7.
All right, Mr. Roach.
All
Who you
right,
have here?
so this should be fun, man. Sixers finally get back to the conference finals. Brooklyn, James Harden back here, Kevin Durant, Kyrie. Give me Brooklyn in 7, man. In my opinion, when they're fully healthy and everybody's playing great, they are the best team in the NBA. James Harden finally gets back to the finals, man. He doesn't have to deal with Steph Curry, his daddy. So I think without Steph in his way, Harden actually plays well. And yeah, give me Brooklyn to go to the NBA finals.
Okay, Mr. Donald. Who do
Give
you
me the
have here?
Philadelphia 76ers in 7 games. There are 3
Yes.
main reasons why I think this is going to happen. One is coaching. This is Steve Nash's first and only conference finals in his very short NBA career. Number 2 is bench. The Philadelphia 76ers bench is one of the best in the NBA, and I think they will outlast the Brooklyn Nets. Even though I really like the Brooklyn Nets bench, it really depends on how they play through the playoffs, like I said before. And number 3, I think defensive matchups are going to be a huge issue for the Brooklyn Nets. I think I would put Joel Embiid on KD. I would put Tobias Harris on James Harden. I would put Ben Simmons on Kyrie Irving.
No.
And I think that would be the best possible defensive matchup you can get. The Brooklyn Nets are going to like fall over, like fucking die. No, it's not going to be like that. It's going to go to 7 games. It's going to be a fantastic series.
Donnie,
But give me the Philadelphia 76ers in 7 games.
I want to say something, and what your defensive matchups are wrong. I'm going to explain it to you when it's my turn to go. I just like to say that.
Okay.
Now,
Probably was.
my pick. Give me Brooklyn in 7.
Okay.
Again, when this team is healthy, they are possibly the best team in the league. And I'm looking at the last 3 matchups that they had with the 76ers. Not once did they all have the big 3. James Harden played 1 game by himself without the big 3, and then Kyrie played by himself the other time with the big 3, and then the other ones didn't even show up. Now that they're fully healthy, they got the feel for the playoffs. I think they're just going to be unstoppable. I understand they have Joel Embiid. They have the number 2 ranked – no, not the number 2. They have a top 3 ranked defense right now. They actually have the number 2. I'm sorry. They actually have the number 2. But I just think that Brooklyn is just way too much. When this team is healthy, as Rocha says, they are literally the most unstoppable offense in the league. It doesn't matter how good your defense is because this offense is just that fucking good. It doesn't matter. So I have Brooklyn in 7. So, Mr. Jonathan, what do you have here?
I have Brooklyn in 7 also. I think it's gonna be a great series. It could go either way, but the thing is, like, yeah, the 76ers, they have good defense, but when you're talking about Brooklyn, they have probably 2 of the most unguardable people, Kyrie and KD. You know, Kyrie, I know people criticize him for taking all this time off and stuff like that, and they question all this stuff, but this guy's been putting up godly numbers all year. There's a reason why he's a 50, 40, 90 guy. He's a monster, and probably the most unguardable guy out there with his handles and dribbles and stuff like that. And KD, one of the best shooters out there. We all know that. No one's going to disagree with that. So, and then you have Harden, who's really become the whole question when Harden got traded there. Everybody questioned it. Can him and Kyrie get along? They're all dominant guys, but Harden, it just fit like a glove. Remember, KD was out for a while. It was Harden and Kyrie. And Harden looked like, and him and Kyrie looked like they've been playing together for a long time. They played great, and Harden became a facilitator. And so I think that's going to pose a lot of mismatches. And I don't think 76ers are going to have an answer for that. So Brooklyn in 7 for me.
Okay. And before B goes, Another thing, I don't think even if people are saying Harden chokes like he usually does in plays, it doesn't fucking matter. You still have Kyrie and KD. There's two dominant players like Sean was saying. They're probably the most unstoppable players in the league. So it doesn't matter if Harden does like slow down like he has in the past. It wouldn't matter. You still got to knock out the other two. So that just adds on. So Mr. Hayden, who do you have here winning?
My Easter Conference is different than everyone else's. Remember, I have Bucks and Philly.
Okay.
So
Who you got?
this matchup, Giannis versus Embiid, that's going to be the whole talk. But I think the matchup that's going to decide this series would be Harris versus Holiday. Or Harris versus Holiday. I think that's going to be it because Giannis and Embiid, they'll shut each other down. Usually when they play each other, one goes off, the other shuts the other one down. It's like always every game. It's back and forth. So I think them two are going to make each other quiet. But I think it's going to come down to who can shoot better, Milwaukee or Philly. And this pains me a lot to say this, but I got Philly in 7.
Oh, thank you, B.
But
Wow. I mean,
Interesting.
thank you.
Okay.
like,
I mean, wow, Sixers. Okay.
I think the Philly has a better three-pointing shooting team than us. Middleton's inconsistent. Holiday, he's more of a, I noticed this year, more of a mid-range. DiVincenzo, inconsistent too. Lopez, we haven't been relying on him for the threes. So he's not as good as he was in years past.
Wow, I didn't expect you to even do that. I mean, you're the only guy who had Sixers and Bucks, but you actually had the Sixers winning. All right. I've been quiet this whole time. I haven't said anything. I haven't disagreed, or I haven't voiced my disagreements or anything. I've been quiet. Well, first off, I have the Sixers in 7 games, and here's why. Let's start with the defensive end, which I have a lot of explaining to do. KD, he's gonna do his thing. And I think Ben Simmons will match up against KD. Kyrie Irving, Danny Green being a very well perimeter defender. I think Danny Green with the he is a little bit more size than Kyrie, and I think Doc Rivers will match those two up. And then when we need to, KD will face double teams. Matisse Thybulle will be helping on James Harden. But here's the thing with the series. Our coaching is 100% better. It's 1,000,000% better. Doc Rivers will put out a coaching clinic versus good old Steve Nash. And then our defense is better. Our bench is better. So when you look at 3 phases of the game, we're better. Now, yeah, they have the better offensive scoring. But when you look at the crunch time, James Harden is going to fold. And here's why I say James Harden is going to fold. You may say, oh, well, the pressure won't be on him. Well, Doc Rivers, if he's a smart coach, he'll make sure that James Harden takes the clutch shots. He'll double team KD. You put your best defender on Kyrie and make Harden take a clutch shot and just close out on Harden. Send double teams at KD, send double teams at Kyrie, close out on Harden. He'll miss the clutch shot. And that's what I think. And I think the Sixers' defensive game plan, when we have Matisse Thybulle and Ben Simmons on the court, we average the most steals per game. And them two are going to be on the court together. We lock down people when Thybulle, Embiid, and Simmons are on the court. You basically can barely score on us when Thybulle, Embiid, and Simmons are on the court. And I think with that, we're gonna force Harden to make these clutch shots. And if Harden makes these clutch shots, then I'll say I'm wrong. But right now, he's not gonna. He hasn't shown us he can do that. He has not shown us he can do that. And then for the Nets on defense, they're not going to be able to guard Embiid. They're not going to be able to guard Harris. They're not going to be able to guard Ben Simmons when he's aggressive. So I think with all those points I make and then the offensive impact the Sixers will have, I think I had the Sixers in 7.
Okay. And one thing I want to tell you, Christian, too. Actually, you guys have a better 3-point percentage making. You guys are 5th right now, and Philadelphia's 10th in
Also,
3-point
well,
making.
I want to add something to
when
that.
you look
Then.
at the threes, go ahead, B. You can go first.
Middleton in the playoffs, I've been watching Middleton for a while. Middleton in the playoffs is very, very inconsistent. Like last year, I believe Game 4 against Miami, he was killing them. Game 5, quiet.
And to add to your point, because and Isaiah, the Bucks always shoot great in the regular season. They never do in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We're going to be the better shooting team in the playoffs. Danny Green, who's going to be one of our main shooters, has 2 championships. When you look at Seth Curry, he's been on numerous of playoff teams. He's been with the Blazers in the playoffs, had to make some good shots. He's been with the Mavericks, had to make shots in the playoffs. So when you look at playoff shooters, we have the better playoff shooters. When Chris Middleton, he's going to be up and down in the playoffs. True Holiday is an okay 3-point shooter, but he's more of a mid-range guy.
Mid-range, yeah.
And Dante DiVincenzo has been a little inconsistent this year. And I love DiVincenzo, but when you look at the pure playoff shooting, the more clutch shooters in the playoffs, the better shooters in the playoffs, we have that better over the Bucks.
They do. And I also want to add something too. Doc Rivers is a way better coach than Mike Budenholzer, and he will Budenholzer.
Yep.
All right.
The East, for me, he makes the finals, and yeah, we make the finals out of the East. And Donnie, who do you have? You have the Sixers. Corrupt,
Yeah.
You have the Sixers as well. Rocha, who do you have? I forgot what you said.
He had the Nets.
I have the Nets.
So Donnie and Corrupt, they all have the Sixers, and I agree with everything they said, along with what I said with the defensive game plan. And I don't think anyone can counter my debate because I made the perfect argument on why we will beat the Nets.
You did.
So we got 5. We got 5 for Nets, and we got 4 for Sixers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, now moving on to possibly the best conference in all of sports. We have the Western Conference. We have the number 1 seed versus the number 8 seed. We got Utah Jazz versus the Grizzlies. Now, Mr. Who do you have here winning this?
I'm pretty tired, guys. I'm not going to lie, but I'm just going to go short and sweet. Utah in 5.
All right, Utah in 5. All right, Mr. Joshua.
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, did I hear him? Yeah, I agree. Give me Utah in 5.
Okay. Corrupt.
I want to say Utah in 5. I would say sweep, but I feel like Donovan Mitchell is going to be a little bit rusty and not playing for like a good month.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say Utah in 5.
Okay. All right. Now, Rocha.
Well, fortunately, couldn't be my team, but yeah, I agree. Actually, Utah in 5. I think Grizzlies defense, like tonight, will win them a game.
Okay.
So give me Utah in 5.
All right, Donnie.
I agree. Utah in 5.
Holy shit!
All right. So I also have Utah in 5. I also think Donovan Mitchell's going to come out rusty. Probably game 1 is where the Grizzlies steal. I say them in 5. Mr. Sean, who do you have here winning?
I guess we're all going Utah in 5. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a sweep, but just because Memphis is actually 0-3 against Utah this year. I just don't. I don't know. I'm nervous for Ja. Had a great game tonight. Right? 35 points, amazing. But Utah got one of the best defenders in the league in Rudy Gobert. Mitchell comes back, Mike Conley, all those guys. I'm excited to see what they can do. But yeah, I'll give them 1 game, but wouldn't be surprised if it's a sweep.
Okay. All right, and Christian.
I'm a huge Ja fan. I'm glad to see him do what he did tonight. But I just have this gut feeling. I'm going with Utah, but I feel like Utah in 6. I think Donovan Mitchell is going to be rusty for 2 games. Actually, I think he'll be rusty. Like he's going without a month. I think John Morant coming off this legendary performance he did tonight against the Warriors is going to take that momentum into 1 and 2. And I think when Donovan Mitchell wears off the rust, that's where it stops.
Didn't know Jordan Clarkson wasn't dropping like.
All right.
Or boy on the
Corrupt. Listen. Corrupt. You had your turn, and also Corrupt. We know you're a Jazz fan. You want to defend the Jazz every chance you get. You
I don't
guys
know what
see.
you're talking about.
I'm not lying when I say he's a Jazz fan.
I'm not a Jazz fan.
Yeah, he's
I'm
Jazz
not
man.
a Jazz
100% Jazz man.
But so B. Christensen, you had to mess up the momentum, man. Utah in 5, bro.
Yeah, Utah in 5. All right, now to the 2-7 matchup. Probably the best matchup in the first round for both sides, in my opinion. We got the defending world champions versus the Phoenix Suns. Who do you have here, sir?
This is going to be a fun series. I think the defending champions are going to shock the world. They're going to win in 7.
Ooh, I like it, Mr. Josh.
I'll go 7 games as well.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Lakers. They might be a little sluggish starting off the series. Obviously, certain players are not 100%, but they'll prevail and win in 7.
All right. Now, Mr. Corrupt, who do you have here winning?
Sadly, I'm having the Los Angeles Lakers win in 7. The mismatch in size, Lakers have,
Okay.
and of course LeBron James.
Yeah, of course, LeBron James. Now, who do you have here winning, Rocha?
I have the Lakers in 7, man. It's gonna be probably the best series of the entire playoffs. But I think the Lakers, as they get healthy, will get it done. Phoenix could definitely pull this off, but give me the Lakers in 7.
Okay. All right. Now, for Mr. Donnie, who do you have here winning?
So I'm going with completely unbiased pick. Los Angeles Lakers sweep. No, I'm kidding. So I have the Los Angeles Lakers in 6 games because I do think we're going to steal the first game and steal that home court advantage, and we're going to win the first 2. And I don't think Phoenix is going to catch up. And I think I'm not as high on a lot of people as a lot of people are on Devin Booker in the playoffs. I don't think he's going to be bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I think he's going to need time to acclimate himself in the playoff atmosphere and step up to those big moments. We've seen him be inconsistent in a lot of games this year, especially in prime time, especially when he's being streamed on YouTube. But I do think CP3 is going to be that dude. He's Christopher Robin Paul. He's that dude. He's the guy. He's the man. He's the dude. But I think the real mismatch here is going to be Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis does really well versus Phoenix. I don't know why. I don't know how. It's just weird. It's magic. It's voodoo. He's got a goddamn leprechaun on his shoulder. It's weird. So I think that's going to be a really big problem for it. But I would not be surprised if this series goes to 7 games, and I would not be surprised if Phoenix caught us off guard and beat us in 5 games, because this Phoenix team to me is one of the most unpredictable teams in the playoffs besides the Denver Nuggets. So that's my take on the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Phoenix Suns.
For now, my pick, I have the Los Angeles Lakers winning here. After that performance in the first round against the I'm not in the first round, I'm sorry, against the Warriors, who got knocked out last night. Sorry, Rocha. But I feel like that fourth quarter where LeBron showed who he really is. I think he was lying about that ankle injury. I really do. Is that just me, or does anybody else think that?
I don't think he was lying.
I think he was a little bit gimpy.
He was limping inside the Pelicans game. He also was not 100% inside the Kings game a few weeks ago, so I don't think he's faking that injury.
But no, like, not faking it to a degree. I think he
exaggerate?
Over-exaggerate? Okay.
That's
Maybe.
Yeah, but
Like
give me
he over-exaggerated that hit against Draymond.
Oof. Yeah, he did.
That's tough.
Oof, that is
I got the Lakers in 7. How about you, Mr. Jonathan?
Well, I know I pissed off a lot of Laker fans when we did our prediction not too long ago.
No, I respect it, Sean. I respect it.
But I had the Lakers losing to Utah, because I had the Lakers at 8th, but obviously that didn't happen. I'm a little concerned for the Lakers because I know that they turned it on in the second half, right, and they did great. But they, with 14 turnovers by the Warriors, and that's huge to me. And you could tell LeBron and AD are not fully there. Dennis Schroeder was a bum that game. They're gonna have to have all 3 of them really play good against Phoenix. I know a lot of people aren't giving Phoenix a lot of chance, and Phoenix hears that. And CP3, he's a great leader. He's a general, right? He's gonna have everybody ready and wanting to play and fired up. And then, especially with now everybody not even them being underdogs after the season they had, it's just more motivation. So I think this is gonna go to 7 games. I wouldn't be shocked if it goes either way, but I'm gonna go with Lakers because I don't know how Eaton's gonna play. I'm worried about that versus if Anthony Davis can get going and stuff like that. So I got Lakers in 7, but I wouldn't be shocked if we can go either way.
Okay.
I will say to add on before somebody else picks, McCall Bridges is going to be a problem for the Lakers. He really is. He's going to be a problem for us to stop, and I'm kind of a little bit worried about what our defensive plan is for him, especially in the paint.
I agree.
I agree too.
Aiden.
Okay.
So we have a few curses in this year's NBA. We have the Clippers curse, of course, and we have the James Harden curse, like not being clutch. Giannis being cursed, not being clutch. Everyone's forgetting about this one curse, the Kardashian Jenner curse with Devin Booker.
Jesus
Ooh,
Christ.
I forgot about
Really?
That's a
Josh-
big curse everyone forgets about. It affected Tristan Thompson. It ruined Kanye's music. Like, it's a big thing. And I'm going Lakers in 6. I think Devin Booker's going to be bum of the series.
Wow.
Damn. That is a hot take, sir.
Works well for me though, right, MG?
All right. Well,
And-
I got the Lakers in. You know what? I make a last minute adjustment to my bracket.
Wait.
First round. This is an upset. Even though the Suns are 2 seed, this is an upset. Give me the
What?
Suns at 7. I have the Suns winning the first 2 games of the series, and then I lag out.
No.
You say Suns?
You here?
Suns?
These Suns and 7.
Phoenix.
Suns out?
Yeah.
There it is, then.
Yeah, that's what I'd say as well. All right. Now to the to the 3-6 matchup. We have Denver versus Portland, sir. Who do you have here winning?
I like this series. I just think Denver losing Jamal Murray hurts a little bit. I got Portland winning this in 6.
Okay. All right. Now, Mr. Josh, who do you have here winning?
Denver, outside of Jokic, man, they got a lot they got to prove to me. This is a team that when they get in the playoffs, they tend to shit the bed a little bit, play a little nonchalant, play a bit lazy on both ends of the court. So I'm gonna go Portland and win.
Okay.
And they're gonna win in 6. I think they're a little bit more hungrier. Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, arguably one of the best backcourts in the NBA. Love the addition of Norman Powell that they got before the trade deadline, and they get the dub in the series.
All right. All right, Mr. Crooks, who do you have here winning?
I have Denver in 6. Now, I know that missing Jamal Murray's hurt them a lot, but Michael Porter Jr. has been stepping up for them a lot. Of course, I think Jokic is MVP. And one thing about Damian Lillard that I do not like is that in the playoffs he tends to what's the word? Just not show up as more like CJ McCollum becomes the number 1 guy in the play. That's what happens. There's lots of times where Damian Lillard just doesn't show up. He's just not Damian Lillard. And I think that's going to happen here. I think Damian Lillard's just gonna shit the bed in the playoffs, like he usually does. I know he had that great Oklahoma City Thunder series, all that kind of stuff. But if you look back, CJ McCollum is usually the guy that's the number one guy for that team, for the Portland Trailblazers. I think Damian Lillard's gonna not do very well. I got Denver in 6.
Okay. All right, Mr. Roach, who do you have here winning?
I have Portland in 6, man. I just don't like what I'm seeing from Denver right now. Now they have Jamal Murray. I think they'd be finals contenders, but they don't. He's injured. Sucks to see that. Give me Dame to show up, CJ to show up, Nurkic. They did not have. I don't think they had him last year. Did they? Did they have him in the playoffs last year against you guys?
No,
No.
they did not.
Nurkic was out.
I think we were talking about it earlier, and yeah, that's a big difference. And yeah, give me them in 6, man. Let's see what Dame can do.
Okay. All right. Now, Mr. Donald, who do you have here winning?
Give me Portland in 5. I think the depth of Portland is gonna make Denver's starting 5 obsolete. Denver is completely depleted at guard. Not just Jamal Murray. They've had a few injuries at that position. It sucks. I think Jokic is going to absolutely ball in this series, but it's not going to be enough. I think, especially Norman Powell and Enes Kanter, two of the big pickups the Portland Trailblazers made this offseason and trade deadline. I think they're going to be real key contributors to this series, and I think the Portland Trailblazers win in 5 games. No disrespect to Nikola Jokic, the MVP of the league.
All right, I would like to say to the BINcast fans out there, I sincerely apologize. Technical difficulties, obviously. but I do have the Suns at 7. I don't know if you guys heard that. It's kind of too late to explain now. I'll explain probably later, but I do have the Suns at 7. Like I said, this is not a good way to present your first episode with 100 subscribers. I apologize to all of our guests and viewers, but I do have the Suns at 7.
You know we did hear you, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
could hear you.
We heard
Hey,
you.
you were good, bro.
Well, I was about to get to explaining why because I knew people had questions, but I'll
Oh,
answer
okay.
them I'll answer them in the comment section.
Or you
Okay.
can answer it at the end.
All right, and for me, I have Portland in 6. I don't think I like Jokic. He's going to be the MVP, but who else is going to stop Damon McCollum? I don't think anybody is. In Denver, but you give me them in 6. I have Portland in 6. How about you, Sean?
Let's keep it going. Portland in 6. Yeah, I think Nurk being there is healthy for them. But I think who just said it? Cantor. I think it was Donnie, right?
Yeah.
Cantor, I think is gonna be huge off the bench for them. Jokic is not in the game. Like I think Cantor's one of he's great at rebounding, man. Down low and stuff like that. So I just don't know what Denver can do to stop that offense. I just don't know. Jokic is gonna ball, right? But I just think Portland, even if Dame, like I'm saying Dame, not, whatnot, but Norman Powell, these guys, Carmelo Anthony, another year with them, right? He's been with them all year this time, he didn't just sign with them or whatnot. He's got some chemistry, so I think they're gonna put up points on this Denver team.
Okay.
For
me, this series, Portland Denver, it's gonna be big. I think it's gonna be better than what people say, and I don't know. I think Dame will show up a few times compared to Corrupt's point. It's just tough because you got the MVP in Jokic, and you also have like an amazing shooter in Dame. It's so tough this series, but I'm saying this. I think Dame's gonna pull what he did to the Oklahoma City Thunder and hit a game winner in Game 7 and win it. So,
All right. Portland versus the Denver Nuggets. Now, this series falls on the missing of Jamal Murray. Obviously, Michael Porter Jr. has had an amazing season, and I don't want to take that away from him stepping up as a second option. But in the playoffs, you've seen what Jamal Murray was able to elevate his game as, and losing about 20 points per game with 5 assists on the offensive side will be the big difference because Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum will be in the double the 20 points that the Nuggets will be missing on the offensive end. Also, I like what Sean said about Carmelo Anthony having another year. That's a veteran presence who's been through it all. When you talk about losing and sometimes winning in the playoffs, and I just think Portland, they're just slightly the better team with the Jamal Murray injury. It sucks that Jamal Murray got injured, and then like I said, Dame and CJ, they're gonna just outscore, in my opinion, the Denver Nuggets. And then you got Yusuf Nurkic, who's been having a little bit of an up and down year. More downs than ups for Nurkic, but I expect him to have a bad series versus Jokic. Honestly, I think Jokic is gonna absolutely dominate him, but Dame and CJ will overcome the dominance of those two guys. So that's what I think. Portland is 6.
okay. I like it.
Yes, sir.
All
right. Next series. Since Isaiah wanted to pass out,
I literally was talking. My mic was muted. Sir, who do you have here for the 4-5 matchup?
First off, I just want to apologize for the music. I didn't know Junior's music was that loud, but I just turned it off. Anyway,
okay.
I apologize for that, guys.
You're fine.
Bro,
Don't
you're
worry
good.
about it.
You're good.
This one is going to be a fun series too. Porzingis, is he healthy enough to forego a long series? Finney Smith, will he be an X factor? Tim Hardaway Jr. Will Paul George be the same? Who knows? I like this series. I got the Clippers in 7.
Okay. Josh, who do you
All
have
right.
here winning?
I'm gonna go with the Clippers. Winning here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go I'm gonna go Clippers in six games. Clippers and Dallas, they have a bit of a rivalry going on. I believe in the regular season, the Mavericks did get the better of the Clippers. As I always say, that's not an indication of a whole lot. You just saw what happened between the Warriors and the Grizzlies. The Warriors owned the Grizzlies. What did that mean? Nothing, really. So it's a little bit of a glimpse of what's going to happen. Luka Doncic can't be stopped, but the Clippers. This is a better team than they were last year. They're deeper. They're a much better defensive team. I think they're going to win in six.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Corrupt.
I actually think this is going to be the best series in all of the round.
Okay.
I'm going to have Clippers in 7. Expect Luka Doncic to go fucking off. And I think Paul George will start playing better in the playoffs than he did last year. And that's ultimately why I think the Clippers will win in 7. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a close matchup. I went flippity floppity with this one also. But I think I'm gonna go with the Clippers.
Okay. All right, now Mr. Donnie, who do you have here winning?
Give me the
Hello.
Dallas Mavericks in 7 games.
Oh, my bad, Mr. Rocha. Mr.
Wow.
Rocha, I'm
Ooh.
sorry.
Damn,
With that-
Isaiah strikes again.
God,
Jeez.
I
Alright,
apologize,
so-
Rocha.
I'm sorry.
Everyone in your chat, F in the chat for Isaiah.
Damn it.
Man, dude, this series could be so incredible. Who's gonna show up? KP gonna show up? Is Pandemic P gonna show up? This is a back and forth series. I think again this could be a series where you can see each team take a game. I'm gonna go Clippers in 7. I think they get the job done, at least for this series. I think it'll be a really fun series, but I think the Clippers show up a little bit more than KP does, and that's gonna be the big difference. I should say, sorry, Pandemic P shows up more than Porzingis does. Give me the Clippers in 7.
Alright.
All right, so now, Mr.
Now
Donald,
it's
would
me.
you like
Okay.
to tell us who you have?
I'm going to be different. I'm going to take the Dallas Mavericks in 7. I think this is their time. They're hungry after that loss to the Clippers. This Clippers team is a much better team than it was last year. But so this Dallas Mavericks team is also a much better team than it was last year. Specifically, in one area of the game that they were really bad at is closing the fourth quarter. And I think that's going to be really key in this series. And I do think it can go either way, 100%. I think the Clippers will win. Have a chance to win, my bad. Have a chance to win in 7. But I'm going to trust that Luka Doncic gets this done in 7 games.
Okay. And you know what? I'm going to agree with you because let me tell you what. Every time Paul George goes in the playoff, oh, he's going to do better this year. He's going to do better this year. Till he fucking proves me wrong. He ain't going to show up. And not only that, I believe in the Clippers curse as much as any Laker fan. And I still think it's going to strike this year. And I also agree with you, Donnie. This fucking team is hungry. They can finally close out in the fourth quarter. Give me the Dallas Mavericks in 6.
6?
Damn.
Damn.
Wow.
All
Mr.
right.
Mr. Sean, who do you have
Whew.
here winning?
That's a hot take.
I'll sit up for this one. Donnie and Isaiah did nail that, and we are this year. I'm not sure. I know about 2-3 weeks ago we were the number 1 team with the lead going into the fourth quarter wins wise. Huge turnaround. Last year when we had a lead, we'd blow that shit. We'd have a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter, and we'd blow that shit. We could not close it out. You know what? Reason? We're very, very young. And we got better at that, and we got. Even Luka, even when he's not having a good game, we've had Hardaway go off. We've just done really, really good. Now, don't get me wrong. Like a lot of people said, the Clippers are a better team this year. I definitely agree. Serge Ibaka, it was a huge addition to them. It was phenomenal, and them also having Rondo. Let's not forget about that, right? They went out and got him playoff Rondo. So this is going to be tough, But the thing is last year we took it to 6 games, right, to the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with no KP. That was with no Jalen Brunson, and Jalen Brunson's also been huge for us. Last year, Dorian Finney-Smith was nowhere close to what he is now offensively. He's really turned it on for us lately. Offensively, shooting wise, he's had clutch shots for us. He's our best defender. Max Kleba, I know he's been in and out with injuries or health safety protocols, but when he's been healthy, he's been one of the best 3-point shooters percentage wise, right, in the league. I think Dallas will win the series. I think we have been one of the hottest teams as of late, even without KP playing. So I know everybody's like, well, can't KP play? Yeah, we're going into this matchup finally fully healthy. But even without KP, we've been, and there's criticism saying that we were better without KP in this last like month and a half. So it's like I don't think that's a case. KP when he is healthy, his offense puts up 20 points, almost 20 points a game. So I think we're obviously offensively we're better with him. But I think we can win this, and I think because of what happened last year, I think we can win this in 6. And keep in mind we are going to have pretty much a almost full capacity for every home game in Dallas, and that's going to play a huge factor too. So
If Dallas wins this series in 6, I will eat a cardboard box.
If Dallas wins in 6, I will shave my head bald.
Oh, I'm remembering this. I hope
What
you
is hell?
realize. And I want
This-
this to happen.
We're recording this.
I
We're
hope that happens.
seasons now, and I hope it happens too. Because fuck the Clippers. Now, sir, I think a lot of us we have a lot of these matchups differently. We have the 1 seed, and we have the second.
Hey.
It's just time.
You had to.
Ah,
You skipped
God
being
damn.
MG.
Come on.
Wow.
All right, you know what? Go ahead, Christian.
For me, this game, Isaiah, you said the Mavericks in 6, and gosh darn it, I agree with you. The Clipper curse. The Clipper curse. I think Porzingis will I think he's going to get going, and I think he's going to be a killer. And I think in Game 6, tied 107-107, Luka Doncic for a game-winning 3 like he did last year.
Okay.
Holy shit!
Damn.
Well, I have the Clippers in 6. I think what it comes down to is all right. Luka versus Kawhi, they're both gonna go off. None of them are gonna stop each other. But then what comes down to who's gonna step out outside the stars? And you have Paul George versus Porzingis. And as much as pandemic P or playoff P does play a factor, Porzingis has been too inconsistent for me. More on the defensive end and rebounding end, he's been shooting all right. But when it comes to defense, when it comes to rebounding and a little bit of the interior offense, Porzingis has been highly inconsistent, and I think I trust Paul George just by a little bit more in the playoffs. I trust Porzingis to step up. Also, the Clippers have a way better all-around depth, even though 6-man of the year candidate, Tim Hardaway Jr., or who should be a 6-man of the year candidate, he is there. When you look at Serge Ibaka, when you look at Rondo now, you added. Also got Zubac, still be a good rebounding and defensive center. Then you got Nick Batum, who's been improving from his years in Charlotte, and then you just got guys stepping up for the Clippers. And then you got Marcus Morris, who has tons of playoff experience with numerous of teams. I just think the depth of the Clippers outside of Kawhi is better surrounding than the Mavs have depth outside of Luka, and that's why the Clippers will win the series in 6. I do think Luka will go off every single game in this series, but I think he only has enough to do it himself to get the job done in 2 games. So that's my opinion on this series.
Yeah, I can see it. But before we continue, I've been keeping track. Isaiah, you missed people 3 times. Hope you're ready.
You know what? Oh,
F
okay.
in the chat for Isaiah.
All right. So now let's move on to the next second round. All right, so we'll go with Sir. Who do you have as your top seed and your lowest seed right now? No, your top seed and your mid seed.
Clippers. Is it Clippers and Utah next round?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is going to be another really good series. I'm going to go with the Clippers in 7.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
Wow,
for the first time ever in their collegiate history, they're going to make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Yes.
You mean in their NBA history? Because collegiate is college, buddy.
Wow.
Wow.
All right, Josh. What do you have here winning?
All right, so in my matchup, I have the Clippers and Utah Jazz as well.
Okay.
And I will have the Clippers beating the Utah Jazz in 6 games.
Ooh, that's
Alright.
interesting.
I love that. Either way.
Very, very interesting, man.
All right, Mr. Corrupt. Who do you have here?
Alrighty. Utah versus the Clippers. I have Utah in 6.
Utah 6.
Wow.
Yep.
Do you want to
So-
explain?
First off, I think the Clippers comes back, hits him right in the ass again. And secondly, I think that this Utah team's, underrated. I think Donovan Mitchell is going to be the clear MVP. It's one of those. It could be one of those feeling things also. But you also look at it. The better depth goes to Utah, and the better coach I think goes to Utah. And of course, you got Rudy Gobert, one of the better defensive players in the league, and of course, I'm loving what I see from Jordan. I think the Utah Jazz have a better overall team, and I think that there is a reason why they are the seed and severely underrated. But I'll go Utah, going to the Western Conference Final, beating the Clippies in 6.
Okay. All right.
Roach.
It's not Clippies, it's Clips. And this series, oh man, dude, I got the Clippers curse continuing, and they do not make the Western Conference Finals. Give me the Utah Jazz in 7. If they get going from deep, man, you cannot stop this team. If Bogdanovich is dropping 40 every night, you're not stopping them. I don't think Clippers have enough to stop them. The curse continues. Utah goes to the conference finals.
I'm so proud of you guys. All right. So, Donnie, who do you have here winning as your matchup?
So I have the Utah Jazz versus the Dallas Mavericks. I think this would be a freaking fantastic series. Donovan Mitchell versus Luka Doncic, a matchup we could see for years to come. But give me Utah in 6. This team is too deep. This is one of the deepest rosters I've seen in the past 3 years. Their 3-point shooting is insane, and they have I think he's going to be the defense player of the year, even though I think Ben Simmons is the better defender. But the rebounding is going to be too much for Dallas. Points in the paint, it's going to be dominated by Utah. But I do expect Luka to drop a couple 50-point games and win 2. So give me Utah in 6 versus the Dallas Mavericks.
Right. And yeah, so the people who might be confused, Donnie had Dallas over the Clippers.
And I'm going to agree with Donnie. I think Utah's just that good. Fucking all-around team. They're good. I love Dallas. I love them. I love Luka. Sometimes, except when they play us, because they always beat us. But I'm gonna have Utah winning here in 6, as well.
All right.
So, Sean, who do you have here winning?
Oh, this is where I have Utah and Dallas. This is where the road ends for my Mavs. Unfortunately, I still think the rebounding from Gobert is going to demolish us. We don't match up well with Utah, and I really do believe that it comes down to sometimes matchups, stuff like that. Utah's had our number and stuff like that, but I do have this. I have Utah in 6. I think Dallas getting some good experience and stuff would be coming off a huge series win against the Clippers, but I think this is where it cools down, and they beat us in 6. I wouldn't be surprised they beat us in 5, but I think Luka our offense can. There's times our offense can just go off, or we can outscore every single person, every team in the league. So I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna still go Jazz in 6.
Okay.
All
right. Now, B, who do you have here winning?
This matchup, I have Utah and Dallas, and like Sean mentioned, Utah matches up good versus Dallas, and like Donnie said, they have good depth. And as much as I love to see Luka have a good game, Porzingis play good, I just think it's going to be too much because Utah will be, I think, are going to be a little upset they allowed, and for my bracket, Memphis to get 2 games on them, and they're going to have a vengeance. So I'm going Utah in 5.
Yep, and I got the Clippers in 7. They get into the Western Conference Finals. Look, man, as much as I like the Clippers person continue, I respect the Jazz, but I don't think that they were a true 1-seed team. I think if the Lakers were healthy, they wouldn't be the 1 seed. I also think if the Clippers didn't low manage Kawhi and Paul George in this game, I also think that the Clippers could be better. And the reason why I don't have the Clippers striking is also because the defense of the Clippers is great. And Rudy Gobert, is a great defender, and the Jazz are a great team. But people are sleeping on the Clippers defense. They got two of the best defensive wings in Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Serge Ibaka on any given night can put up a defensive clinic. Patrick Beverly is, as much as he's annoying, he is also a good defender. I don't know why we're sleeping on the Clippers defense. And also, I think the Clippers have more playoff experience with Kawhi Leonard being a two-time NBA champion. Kawhi and Paul George, even though he's not the best in the playoffs, he has experience. Serge Ibaka, another NBA champion on that team. Rajon Rondo, another NBA champion on that team. I think experience beats the Utah Jazz in this one. Even though I really like the Utah Jazz, I have the Clippers in 7, making it to the conference finals over the Jazz.
Okay. And now for our next matchups, it was either Phoenix versus Portland, or Portland versus LA, or Denver versus Phoenix, or LA versus Denver. Who do you have here, sir?
I have LA Lakers versus Portland in the next round. It's like I said, I picked the Lakers to go 7 in that first round. I think that's going to be a long series, and now they're going to go into another series starting on the road in Portland. They'll have home court throughout that second round matchup. I like what Portland's doing. I think Portland can upset the Lakers in 6 games.
Oof,
Wait.
Wow.
bro.
You have Portland making the finals?
I love it.
Nice. Spicy.
Wait.
Wow.
Wait,
Before
you have
anyone
Portland-
continues, I just want to mention the last time when we did our NBA preview, Isaiah did say no one will beat the Lakers in the playoffs. Anyways, continue.
Wait, hold on. Sir. I'm looking at my bracket, right? And I'm looking at how far we got into this. Is this Portland in the finals, or is my bracket wrong?
This is going to the Western Conference final.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, my
Yeah,
bad.
we're
I was
still in
thinking.
round 2.
I'm sorry. I was looking ahead to the next round. That was my fault. Okay.
All right. Okay, so that's a shocker. That shocked me a lot.
I love it.
All right, so Mr. Josh, who do you have here?
All right, well, I have the Lakers facing the Portland Trail Blazers. I think they take home court advantage probably in game 1. They take it right back, snatch it, going back to LA. As the playoffs progress, Lakers are going to get more honed in. They're going to get more healthier, and that's going to be a problem for Portland because their front court has no match against Anthony Davis and the Lakers. So I'm gonna go with the Lakers winning in 6 games.
Okay. All right, now for you, Mr. Corrupt, who do you have here?
So I actually have the Denver Nuggets going against the Lakers. And this is actually going to be probably one of the worst series in the playoffs. I have the Lakers in.
Lakers in 5 or would you say? Repeat that, please.
5?
5?
Yeah, in 5.
Okay.
Oh,
Against the Nuggets.
I heard something else. I heard 4.
Yeah, I'm like, huh?
All right. Well, all right, so Mr. fucking Roach, who do you have here?
Okay, don't ever call me that again. I got Portland. Oh God, I got Portland in LA rematch from the first round last year. And I know they didn't have Nurkic, but we saw LA just dominate them. I remember everybody's like, "Oh my God, the Blazers could upset the Lakers. The Blazers could upset the Lakers." I think people would be in the same spot. Oh my God, they can do it again. I got Lakers in 5. I just don't think Portland matches up well with LA. I got LA back to the conference finals.
Roach, you're safe on my list.
So,
I'm just kidding. Fucking Mr. Donald, who do you have here winning now? And who do you have?
I have the Portland Trail Blazers versus the Los Angeles Lakers in this series, and I think the Lakers take it in 5. Portland does not match up with us at all.
Nope.
Like, it's not even remotely close. They are going to steal a game. I do think it's going to be similar to last year's series, where they stole game 1, and then we start to figure it out, and then we just win 4 in a row and take the series. But it is going to be interesting to see how we match up versus Norman Powell in this series. I think that's going to be very interesting to watch. But give me Lakers in 5.
And to my pick, I agree. Lakers in 5. Look, again, like, Blazers have always had our numbers in the past for the longest, but just like last year, I don't think they can't beat us. And I think at this point, after going to a 7-game series with Phoenix, I think the Lakers get it together and go into the series. They probably could lose game 2 or 3, but I think they win in 5. I have the Lakers going back to the Western Conference Finals this year. Now,
Okay.
Mr. Sean, who do you have here?
I have Blazers and Lakers in this round here. I got Lakers in 5. Like we said before, I think as the Lakers go on in the playoffs, they should be getting healthier, hopefully getting some kind of rhythm. That's going to be key for the Lakers. But yeah, I have them winning in 5. I think Portland makes it out of the first round, but I'm not sure they can hang with the big boys. So yeah, Lakers.
All right. B?
Aiden.
So for me, I have the Lakers and the Blazers, and like Donnie said, Portland does not match up well against LA. So I'm going Lakers in 4.
Whoa.
Shit.
I'm calling.
Ow.
Shit.
You have more confidence in my team than I do.
Loud noises.
This team fully
Josh.
healthy, coming off a roll, coming off a dominating performance against Phoenix in 6 games, gonna continue it here.
Okay. Me like you, but damn. All right. Mr. MGZ, who do you have here? And
I have
who are
the,
you?
I have the Lakers versus the Trailblazers, and I have the
Patrick?
Lakers in 5.
You
And
changed it to
Rocha?
the Suns. Your last one.
I had Lakers over
I forgot I had the Suns.
Portland.
See, that's because I lagged out. Okay. I have the Suns versus
Okay.
the Blazers.
Okay.
Now, when you have this series, it's going to be good. It's going to be a battle of the guards. Damon CJ, Chris Paul, CP3. I trust Chris Paul and CP3 in 6 games because, I'm sorry, Chris Paul and CP3. God, I'm tired. Devin Booker and CP3 because I like the veteranship of Chris Paul over Damian Lillard. And then when you look at Booker versus McCollum has the more playoff experience, but I think with Chris Paul there, it's going to be the better matchup as far as the guards. And then when you look at the center position, this is actually an interesting matchup. 2 inconsistent players this year at the center position, Nurkic versus Eaton. It's going to be interesting. I think these guys won't have to do much but rebound, and whoever rebounds better, which I think will be Eaton, I think who will win the series. I think there are going to be a lot of shots taken by guards, and there are going to be shots missed, and whoever can get them more rebounds out of the center matchup will win the game, win the series. And I had the Suns in 6 games over the Portland Trail Blazers.
Okay. All right. Now for the Western Conference Finals prediction. Sir, would you like to take the just go. My bad. I don't know. I'm lagging this out. Just go.
I got Portland versus the Clippers in the Western Conference Final.
Okay.
I think it's time. I think it's time that we see another Los Angeles team in the NBA Finals. I got the Clippers in 6 over Portland.
Oh, Portland Conference Finals. The last time they went was what, against the Warriors a couple of years ago?
Yeah, 2019 they Western Conference Final. Yep.
The battle of the Curry brothers.
Yeah, the Curry brothers played
against each other. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
All right. Well,
That'd be a interesting Western Conference Finals.
that would be an odd Western Conference Finals.
It would be, but I would be for it.
I mean, I would not be against it. I would want, of course, the Clippers to lose, but that would be amazing to see. Like, no team that we never thought of going there.
Yep,
that'd be awesome. So, Mr. Josh, who do you have here going?
I have the Lakers and Clippers in the final Western Conference Finals, and the Clippers team. This team was put together with the Lakers in mind. This is who they match up the best against, and it's going to be an awesome series. But at this point, Lakers are going to be too much. They are going to win in 7 games.
Okay.
That'd be a hell of a Western Conference Finals.
Oh, that would. I'd have a heart attack almost every day.
So we've been waiting for, right? For the last couple years. We've been waiting
couple years. Yeah, there'll be riots in LA.
Oh no, there will be riots.
Oh, for sure.
Mainly towards the Lakers side, even if we win. But now, Mr. Krupp, who do you have here in your Western Conference Finals?
So my Western Conference Finals, I have the Utah Jazz versus the Los Angeles Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
No?
Now,
now,
Now what?
hello.
Yes,
I
now.
cannot lie. I really, really want to pick Utah.
Do it, Jazz fan.
Mm.
Do it, bro.
Do it corrupt.
My
Do it.
mind is telling me
Do
to
it.
go, but
Do
my
it.
want
body,
it. No
my
one's gonna.
body is going with Utah. I'm picking Utah in 7. Fuck it.
Yes,
Do
sir.
You got balls.
Donovan Mitchell is gonna go the fuck off.
Yeah,
Trust
balls
me.
of steel.
And MG, by the way, this will prove Donovan Mitchell's better than Devin Booker. What?
This is gonna and watch this corrupt hyping up Donovan Mitchell all this much and him and
Bro.
Tall Jazz getting knocked down in the first round. I'd be
Bro, I laughed my ass off.
I'd cry.
Before the
I'd
next
cry.
before the
cry.
next guest goes corrupt. Well, you say that Donovan Mitchell is going to prove he's better than Devin Booker. I don't think so. Only because obviously Donovan Mitchell is going to have the better stats because he's going to have a higher usage rate because he's the best player on the team. Where you can argue Chris Paul's the best player on his team. So obviously Mitchell's going to have the better stats because he's going to have more pressure on him to score the ball, and he will score the ball. So that's not proving nothing. That's just saying, oh, Donovan Mitchell, you have more of a responsibility. Obviously, you're going to score more than a guy who's on the opposing team as the second best player. So that's not proving anything about Mitchell being better than Booker.
Damn, he said fuck you, corrupt. All right.
Well,
All right, now the next guest may go.
All right, now Roach, little
Oh,
Roach,
okay.
go ahead.
Hey, you didn't forget me. This I got Utah and Los Angeles Lakers in this series. I got this going to 7, and I got the Los Angeles Lakers back to the finals. By now, they're going to be fully healthy. We'll see what the role players look like you guys were saying. But I think LA, in a great series, is going to just outlast Utah. I think Utah could upset them. I want to be an upset. But give me LA to back to the finals, baby.
Yes, sir. All right, Mr. Donnie, the main couch, the main man, the Slim Shady. Who do you have here going to your Western Conference Finals?
I have the Utah Jazz versus the Los Angeles Lakers, and I think this is going to go to 7 games as well. And I think the Los Angeles Lakers are going to return to the NBA Finals. And I think this is going to be the best playoff series we've seen out of a Western Conference Finals since the Rockets Warriors. These teams, we're not going to be able to stop Rudy Gobert, even with Anthony Davis. He's going to give him fits, but we're not going to stop him. Donovan Mitchell's going to go off, but LeBron and AD are going to go back and forth, and I think it's going to come down to a game-winning shot from Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to send the Lakers to the NBA Finals.
I want to say this, Donnie. Why are you so biased?
I'm not.
I know.
Because I want to say this, B. Why are you gay? Okay, we can.
Oh my god.
All right. All right, so for my pick, I have the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Utah Jazz. And I may sound biased. The Lakers are I'm just playing. I got Lakers in 7 here against the Utah Jazz. It's going to be a good battle. I honestly think Utah with the Gobert is going to just give us a run for money. I think they're the best matchup against us besides the Clippers. And I just think we pull it off at the end. I think just LeBron presence there, the playoff LeBron, him being who he is going to just take us to the promised line once again to go back-to-back possibly. So I have the Lakers winning in 7.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Sean, who do you have?
Ooh, I have the Jazz and Lakers. Obviously, before the play-in and everything, I had Lakers playing them in the first round, and Utah winning in the first round against them. But like this is the worst case scenario for the Lakers. I think Utah can really match up well. But this is the Western Conference Finals. I'm going Lakers in 7. So I think it's gonna be a hell of a freaking series. But give me Lakers in 7 to return to the NBA Finals. If they played them first round, I think Utah got them. But playing in the Western Conference, give me the Lakers.
Okay. All right, now Mr. B, who do you have here?
A few months ago on a beautiful episode of the Big Podcast, I said to Isaiah when we were having a debate that the Utah Jazz would beat the LA Lakers in 7. I said it. And I know
Sure.
Isaiah really wants to clown on me if the Lakers beat the Jazz. I know he does. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think you're going to be the one crying in Game 7 when Donovan Mitchell hits a game winner over you. Give me...
Over.
over LeBron. Let's say LeBron.
Even his mic knows that's not even gonna happen, so that's why I cut it out.
Over LeBron.
Can I chime in real
His
quick
mic-
and say I'm changing my pick? I don't want to be in the same realm with B. Christensen.
Tough.
Okay.
That's fine. I'll be in here all alone. I've been dealing with this for a few months now.
All right.
He's used to that, ladies and gentlemen.
B. Christensen. Now I know you guys just heard some very unintelligent reasons on why the Jazz will beat the Lakers. So let's the guy who actually knows who he's talking about speak. Well, actually, I don't have the Lakers here. I have the Suns versus the Clippers. This is gonna be one of the most fun series of all time, man.
Okay.
And I mean that. And I had the Suns in 7. Here's why: because the veteranship of Chris Paul will. I just feel that the veteranship of Chris Paul will carry them to the finals. Chris Paul is one of the greatest players to never win a championship. He is determined with this Suns team to win the championship. And by this time in the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen, and guests on this episode, Devin Booker will be used to the playoffs. He'll have 2 rounds of getting used to it. This time, Devin Booker will be the 25, 24, 26, however many points he averaged. He'll be that type of guy. He'll be putting up 25-point games, 30-point games again for this time because he's going to be used to the playoffs. The first 2 series, Chris Paul's going to carry, and you're going to see Devin Booker blossom. You're going to see Mikal Bridges, him getting used to the playoffs, clamping up on defense. You're going to see Cam Johnson step up. You're going to see Jay Crowder. And there's a stat. Every team Jay Crowder's on, except for the Grizzlies, which he played for a few months, they've made at least the conference finals. The Celtics have made it. The Heat have made it. And now I predict the Suns will make it all the way to the NBA finals. And Jay Crowder, with the veteranship of him and Chris Paul, will be leading the Suns to the NBA finals versus my 76ers.
Okay, well, if you're gonna go solely based on veterancy, then I'm taking the Clippers because they have Paul George, they have Kawhi Leonard, they have Morris there. If you're gonna solely base it off that, then I'm taking the Clippers.
Obviously you did not listen to what I said. You just blocked up everything. I literally said Devin Booker is going to be a monster, Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges. So obviously you just
in the beginning you had just said that. Oh, I'm going.
I obviously that was a part of my point. But if you're gonna try to debate,
well, I'm gonna go against your point. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna go with the Clippers then because you're saying that because for veterancy.
It's fine that you go with the Clippers. My problem is if you're gonna debate me, debate my whole point. Don't just nitpick my takes.
I'm picking the main part that you said. You literally said that the fucking Clippers are gonna. I mean, not the Clippers. Whoever you said is gonna win solely based off of fucking veterancy.
No, they're not gonna win solely. They're gonna win off of veterancy. Devin Booker stepping up and other young guys, dude.
I'm gonna fucking shit myself.
All right.
Damn.
Anyway.
All right.
I want to say something. Before we move on to the NBA's finals, 5 months ago, Sir, Sean, Josh, and Rocha.
5 months ago?
Yeah, 5 months ago, Donnie. You were still a little baby couch. But 5 months ago, we did a finals prediction. And I wanted to share these.
Okay.
For you guys. For Sir, first off, he had Bucks versus Lakers. Josh, he had Lakers versus Nets. He also said the Pacers could go too. I just want to point out. Sean had Lakers versus Miami. Rocha had Lakers Nets. I had Bucks Lakers. MG had Lakers versus Celtics, and Isaiah also had Lakers versus Celtics.
Wait, what about me?
Oh fuck, we forgot about you.
Really? All right.
This is a different episode, Dick. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Corrupt was also on this podcast before the season. He made a prediction. Corrupt, do you remember? Now, a lot of us in here, well, not me, but a lot of us in here had Lakers Nets. The people who had Lakers Nets today, back months ago, Rocha, you were the only one who had Lakers versus Nets that I see on here. Oh, and Josh had Lakers versus Nets as well. So Josh and Rocha had Lakers versus Nets, and Yeah, man. So looks like Josh and Rocha have a chance of being right. The Celtics are not making the finals. I was completely wrong. B. Christensen, the Bucks and Lakers could possibly happen still.
And sir,
Um,
don't forget sir.
and sir, yeah, I was gonna get to sir, but sir, Bucks and Lakers could also happen. So, when you look at these predictions, I was just the one that was completely wrong. I thought the Celtics would improve, not regress. But hey, shout out to you guys for your finals predictions still having a high chance to win it. Now, Isaiah, would you like to lead us off with the guests and the finals predictions?
Now, for the grand stage, the biggest thing most people want to win. Oh, actually, every player wants to win in their career playing the NBA. We are in the final prediction, the NBA Finals, the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Mr. Sir from the Six, you've seen the title. Who do you have here winning?
I have Clippers and Nets in the final this year. This is going to be back and forth. The big three versus Kawhi. That's going to be tough to go against Kawhi Leonard in the finals because he's pretty damn good in the finals. I think this will be a very good NBA Finals if it did happen. Give me the Nets in 6.
Ooh.
Okay.
I like it.
But
Ooh.
isn't KD like 0-1 versus Kawhi in the finals right now?
What?
Talking about KD versus Kawhi.
mean, if you
Yes.
wanna
You mean the finals when he's
consider
injured?
Well, he was injured for that 2019 final.
Yeah.
Technically, he is 0-1 because he was on the roster.
Yeah.
So.
And then
I mean, he played
But
what,
he's
like
also
11
beating him with the Warriors. When
Yeah,
he
in the
was
Western
with,
Conference Finals.
San Antonio.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
give me the Nets in
Hey,
6.
stop. That's
That's
a
all
slow
correct.
blow.
here. If that is the finals, I 100% agree with what you said.
Mhm.
I mean, I just think if the Clippers do make the finals, which can probably happen still, I just don't think that'll happen. But I just think the Nets are too much for them. So I agree.
I like the addition of Rajay Rondo. That's a big factor for me picking them going that far. I think he has that pedigree to
championship game.
All right, Lakers, Nets. I believe this is going to be a great series. Probably one for the ages if it comes down to this. I'm going to say it's a 7-game series with the Los Angeles Lakers repeating as champions.
Yes.
That'd be a hell of a. That'd be
The Lakers.
one of the best NBA Finals ever played if that were to happen.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but has there ever? I don't think there's ever been a 7th seed as well to win an NBA Finals, right?
What were Hakeem's Rockets? They were a 6 seed. I think.
Okay, so then, yeah, it'd be the first
Pretty-
7th seed to ever have won in finals. Pretty
Hey,
sure. Right?
Commons, fact check me. All right, yeah, that'll work.
They'll-
All right.
they will.
All right, so now, Mr. Corrupt Quake, who do you have here winning?
So I have the Utah Jazz versus the Philadelphia 76ers.
Wow.
Now, as much as I do love Donovan Mitchell, I have to admit the team 76ers have is actually is really fucking good, and I think actually better than the Utah Jazz. First off, they have size, and they have the better center. And I think Ben Simmons, Defensive Player of the Year, is going to cause Donovan Mitchell some problems. 76ers and 6. And finals MVP is Joel Embiid, by the way.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
Oh, do you guys want real quick, Josh, sir, who do you have as your finals MVP? Wes?
Anthony Davis, Finals MVP.
Kevin Durant for me.
All right. Now to Mr. Roach. Who do you have here in your finals?
God damn it. I have, in my opinion, the two best teams in the NBA: Lakers, Nets. I got a 7-game series, and I got the Brooklyn Nets winning the NBA championship. Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving. I think they make a great trio. I think James Harden balls out. Give me James Harden for Finals MVP, and give me the Brooklyn Nets to dethrone the Lakers in 7.
Let's go. One of the two biggest jinx. Just love to
Shut
see
up. Well,
All
that means
right.
you guys are not making it to the finals.
Yeah.
Wait, Rocha, you said who's your MVP again?
James Harden.
Poof. So his first great playoff run will be leading him into a Finals MVP.
Yep, but Steph will still be his daddy.
That's tragic.
That is
All right.
tragic.
Now, Mr. Donnie McDonaldson, who do you have here in your
What?
MVP
The
finals?
fuck did you just call me?
Jesus Christ.
Don, just go, Sonny. Who do you have here?
All right. I have the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Philadelphia 76ers.
Mhm.
I think this is going to be a fantastic finals. I think these are the two best teams in the NBA going at it.
Mhm.
I think that the Los Angeles Lakers will win in 7 games, but I think the finals MVP will go to the losing team in Joel Embiid the first time since Jerry West.
Wow.
Whoa, what?
Okay.
What?
You
Oh,
have
shit.
you have a history record being broken. How
Wow.
many years has that
Yowzers.
been?
About 72 years.
Okay.
But Jeebus Christ. All right, fucking A. Well, for my record prediction, I have the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Brooklyn Nets, right? LA, Brooklyn. It's gonna be a great series. You got the best offense versus the number 1 defense of the Lakers. And I have the Lakers winning in 7. I think LeBron at his full peak, AD being there, Contavious Caldwell-Pope being the guy he is with the 3-point shooting. I think Talon Horton-Tucker is gonna just start being there more. He's shown that he could play good, but he's also good as I'm trying to speak Jesus Christ. He's shown that he could play inconsistent, but he could show that he could play better, more. And Alex Caruso's shown he's a great defender as well. This team all around with Trez as well. This whole team is great.
If he gets minutes.
If he gets minutes, yeah, that's true. And then Gasol, if he also gets minutes, he can also be a main factor. Not a main factor, but he can be a factor defensively and rebounding. Drummond as well with rebounds. That's all he could do. And give me the Lakers in 7. Give
Finals
me the
MVP.
And my Finals MVP is going to be the Brown. I'm going AD as the Finals MVP.
Okay.
If the Lakers won the championship, I'd love for AD to win Finals MVP, man.
If he had just played a little better last year, I think he would have won.
Now,
Yeah.
question before everyone else goes, Isaiah and Josh, I noticed AD was your MVP. Do you think he'll play better than LeBron in the NBA Finals?
If it's going up against the Brooklyn Nets, who's going to guard AD?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
LeBron James is going to be a beast, but he's going to have his hands full on the wing position. AD can go unchecked.
that's true. I see what you're saying.
Imagine
So,
the Bloomish fucking it's Caldwell Pope who wins MVP.
I swear to God, bro.
okay.
Oh, God. Okay.
Just
If
like
Contavious,
almost Iggy won. It should have been Curry, but Iggy won.
Iggy deserved
true.
it, okay? Don't you go at it.
if
Steph
Contavious,
deserved it.
if
Damn
Contavious
it.
Caldwell Pope wins Finals MVP, I'll shave my eyebrows and my head, everything. I'll look like
Okay, now he has to win Finals MVP, so I can see that.
Please.
and I will never wear a hoodie on camera. I'll always show my full face.
All right.
I want that to happen.
All right, Mr. Sean, who do you have here winning your finals, and who do you got?
Well, in the game I have Lakers Nets in this, which it comes down to it. You know, these are some of the best teams right here. By now, hopefully, Lakers got full throttle, no issues. I feel like by time here they should have some kind of rhythm. But I got Lakers in 7. I got them repeating. And the main reasons, like what Josh was saying, Anthony Davis, he's going to be MVP. They're not going to have anybody that can stop Anthony Davis as long as Anthony Davis is back by then, right? 'Cause
Yep.
we can still see he's hindered a little bit. His shot's not there and stuff like that. And especially after he re-aggravated his calf from the last games of the season. But hopefully he's healthy, and if he's healthy, he's going to be the reason they win the series. He will,
Yep.
as long as his
Okay.
offense is there, and he will be MVP.
Yeah,
Wow.
I love it.
Okay.
Now, Hayden, who do you have here winning?
I
And who do you
have my NBA Finals. Utah Jazz versus the Philadelphia 76ers.
We really have the same
Okay.
one. Ew.
You can change it. I ain't changing mine. But, Kurup, you said you had Philly going to get that chip, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I
He has the
disagree.
same exact-
Like Isaiah said in the last video, the Philadelphia 76ers won't win anytime soon. And
Let's go. Let's go.
and I quote,
What?
You all right
have
there,
the
bud?
Utah Jazz beating Philly in a
That's
7
predictions, son. Hold
game
on.
series.
I'm excited because this is
Okay.
like the first time he's.
Before I
Even-
get into it, my finals MVP will be Corrupt's man, Donovan Mitchell.
Okay, I like this.
Bruh. But
You, Dwayne Wade, no cap.
the thing is, you got Joel Embiid, you got Ben Simmons, yes. But on the other side, you also have an amazing defender in Rudy Gobert, who I think could slow down a little bit, slow down Embiid. I'm not saying he's going to completely shut him down, just slow him down plays that they need to keep the momentum going. And yes, Philly has their three-point shooters, but I think Donovan Mitchell, by this time, will be hot, hitting them threes, hitting what he needs to get done in this series. And Utah Jazz also have motivation because they're not getting the respect they deserve this whole NBA season, and that's another fire they have. And Philly is in the same boat. In the East, no one's talking about the Bucks or the Sixers. They're only talking about Brooklyn. I'll give that to Philly, but no one's getting disrespected like Philly. I mean, like Utah.
Okay. All right. MG, who do you have here as your finals, and who do you have as your MVP and all that good stuff?
Yep.
All right. That's
All right.
He's
Ladies and
dead.
gentlemen, thank you so much. MG died. We're gonna go get his reboot card. Put in the reboot van in a minute. Thank you guys so much. And MG, can you hear? Hello?
All right, so my NBA Finals. I have Philadelphia 76ers versus the Phoenix Suns. And with this series, it's going to be veteranship versus size and strength. And yes, I like how the Suns have a lot of veterans on their team. Well, not a lot. Well, they have Jay Crowder and Chris Paul, who are great veterans. But what I think with the Sixers is size, strength, and also shoot from the outside. And I think when the Sixers are at their best, they can be almost not unstoppable, but they can be really hard to defend. And I think that Embiid will destroy Eaton. I think Simmons will have a great series, and Tobias Harris will have a solid series. I have the Sixers in 7 because I think that the Suns will just give us such a fight, man. The veterans on their team, and then like I said earlier, Devin Booker is going to be a difference maker. By the time he gets used to the playoffs in the big game, I think he's going to be a complete difference maker. But I have the Sixers in 7 versus the Phoenix Suns. I don't have the most odd finals, but I think it's also going to be a fun series because these teams match up well against each other. So I'm interested to see. But I think when it comes down to it, I trust Embiid and the Sixers to dominate down low inside the paint over the Phoenix Suns.
Okay. Who's your MVP?
My MVP is going to be Joel Embiid. I think he's going to average 35 points in this series.
For the first time since, what, 1983? Or
Yep.
70?
83.
I smell. You guys smell that? I smell so much bias in this chat right now.
I do too. I do.
I mean, you can have me
kidding.
being biased. I mean, I think I give good points. I mean, if you can
No,
call it
I
that.
think any of your teams in here, Lakers, Sixers, Bucks, can win the title. I really do.
Mm,
I'm not Sean's Mavs.
nah.
Nah.
Mavs?
That is
Nope.
tough.
Not yet.
That's a fact.
Yeah, not
What
yet.
about, what about Corrupt's Jazz?
Oh, yeah. What about
Oh,
The
shit.
Jazz
That's
will
true.
win it,
That's
though.
true.
If it's
What
not
about
Milwaukee.
What about corrupt Spur? Oh,
that's tough.
What about
I've
Lakers,
never talked.
Warriors? Oh.
Wait,
Nah, I
Donnie, you
can't.
talking about 2014? That's when Corrupt Spurs was, relevant.
oh
2014.
yeah. I forgot
Hey,
about
listen, MG. At least he's seen championships in the NBA.
that. God,
Yeah.
Rocha,
I
at
had to
least
go
we've
through it.
seen
Hey,
Super
Rocha, I
Bowls.
went through the biggest rebuild in sports history. So I'm just now
That's true.
seeing winning
That-
the process. But this is the part of the episode. I'm gonna go through this really quickly. Just get all your guys' awards predictions real quick. You don't have to really go deep into it. It doesn't have to be that long. But let's start with the same, way we've been going with this as far as how we ask questions. So, sir, you're gonna be the first guy we ask. Who is your MVP of the series
MVP
of the NBA MVP?
of the season, I got Nikolai Jokic.
Nikola Jokic. And to compare to your last MVP that we recorded on this episode, you had Luka. So
Yeah, tough.
big difference there. But
Yep.
next we have Josh. Who do you have as your MVP? Is this Jokic as well, Josh? Or do you
Yes, it's Nikola
surprise us?
Jokic.
All right, Nikola Jokic, and your last MVP was Giannis Antetokounmpo last time we recorded, so obviously that's something interesting there. And then next we have Rocha.
Wait,
Okay.
you're gonna skip?
I'm sorry,
Corrupt?
corrupt. I'm sorry.
Might I suggest that we just go through one person by person as all their awards? I think that'd be quicker, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So go back to Sir. Name him all the
Yeah,
awards, if that's okay with you.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, we gotta ask Isaiah. He makes the decisions around here.
Oh yeah, Isaiah.
Oh, these people are trying to go to bed. Hurry up.
It's 4:00 in the
Yeah,
morning.
that's
Real,
what-
dude.
that's
Come
what I'm fucking
on.
saying. Hurry the fuck up.
All right. Sir, defensive player of the year, most improved player, coach of the year, sixth man of the year.
Okay, for defensive player of the year, I will take Rudy Gobert.
Mhm.
Sixth man of the year, Jordan Clarkson. Most improved, Julius Randle. And coach of the year, Monty Williams.
Okay. Josh, defensive player of the year, sixth man, coach of the year, most improved.
Defensive player of the year, Rudy Gobert. Most improved is
Okay.
Julius Randle. Sixth man of the year, Jordan Clarkson. Rookie of the year is Anthony Edwards. And the coach of the year, Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah. Sir,
And
also
add
rookie of the
Anthony
year.
Edwards for the rookie of the year.
Okay. All right. Corrupt.
So my MVP is Jokic. My defensive player of the
Okay.
year is actually going to be Ben Simmons.
Okay.
Most improved player of the year is going to be Julius Randle. Coach of the year is going to be Thibodeau. Sixth man of the year is going to be Jordan Clarkson, and rookie of the year is going to be.
Okay.
All right, Rocha, who is your MVP?
All right, so my MVP is Steph. My defensive player of the year is Draymond. No, I'm kidding. Jokic, MVP. I'm gonna change this up. I said Ben Simmons. I'm actually gonna go Gobert, defensive player of the year. Sixth man Clarkson, and I think Josh has actually convinced me. I'm gonna go Tibbs, winning coach of the year because of less talent. And rookie of the year is Ant. Although I want to say Co, but I'm gonna say Ant. And then what am I missing? Is that it?
Most improved?
Most improved, Julius Randle.
Okay.
Okay.
Donnie.
My MVP is Nikola Jokic. My defensive player of the year is Ben Simmons. My sixth man of the year is Joe Ingles. My most improved player is Julius Randle. The coach of the year is Tom Thibodeau. The rookie of the year is Anthony Edwards.
Okay, Isaiah.
All right, for my MVP, I have Jokic. For my sixth man, it's Jordan Clark. For my defensive player of the year, it's going to be Ben Simmons. For my most improved, Julius Randle. For coach of the year is Tom Thibodeau. And then who else? What am I missing?
Rookie.
Rookie. It's going to be Melo.
Okay.
Melo. Okay.
Sean.
So Jokic is definitely gonna win MVP. What defense player of the year? I think Bear. Sixth man of the year. Wish it was, but no, it's gonna be Jordan Clarkson.
Okay.
And let's see, most improved is definitely Julius Randle.
Mm-hmm.
And rookie. And coach of the year. That's another.
Yeah.
Wait, who?
Um,
You cut
Cut out for
out.
you guys?
Yes.
Yeah,
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 you cut out for rookie.
Oh, rookie is gonna be Edwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me,
And coach of the year is gonna be Monty.
Okay.
Monty.
Monty, okay. For me, I have Nikola Jokic for MVP. Rookie of the year, I have Melo. Defensive player of the year, I have Ben Simmons. Most improved, I'm going Julius Randle. Sixth man, I'm going Jordan Clarkson. Coach of the year, I'm going Tom Thibodeau.
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 Tip it up.
Jesus Christ.
All right, and for me, my MVP is Embiid, most improved player Tobias Harris, coach of the year Doc Rivers, sixth man of the year
Okay.
Shake Milton, defensive player of the year
Oh,
Ben
shut
Simmons.
up.
All right, now, but in all seriousness, MVP is Jokic, most improved player is Randall. Oh, I also forgot Tyrese Maxey, not rookie of the year. Most improved player is Randall, coach of the year is Tom Thibodeau, sixth man of the year is Jordan Clarkson, defensive player of the year is Ben Simmons, and rookie of the year is Anthony Edwards.
All right.
All right,
Well,
well,
guys, we have come to the very end of this episode. Very, very long episode. 2 hours and 30 minutes long. That's how long it is. But any last words before you guys head out, go to bed, do whatever the hell you guys do. So anything else you guys want to say to the guest?
Thank you for having me, man. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me. Long live the Empire.
okay.
Appreciate it, guys. It was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you guys. Enjoy the playoffs, and let's have some fun.
Yeah, these playoffs are going to be so much fun. I cannot wait for tomorrow.
Rocha, calm down, please.
Mavs all the way. Let's go.
MFFL, right?
Win the lottery.
I'm the lottery rich.
Hey, we have a 2% chance of winning the lottery now. Let's go.
All right. There you go. All right.
I have one thing I want to say before we go. Go sub to everyone's channel down below. Go sub to Josh and Sean, Sir, Rocha, me, Isaiah, and MG. Tomorrow I will be live. I know Josh and Sean will be live. Rocha and Sir will all be live. Go check out all of our live streams tomorrow. Come show some support. We appreciate every single one of you, and that's all I got.
Last thing I got is obviously I had technical difficulties. I apologize for that. Hate to happen during streams, videos, or podcast episodes. It sucks, but that might change in a few weeks. I'm not gonna say nothing more. But thank you guys for joining. I deeply appreciate it. I know you guys stayed up extra late for this. And I want to apologize. I know you guys are tired, and we took we recorded a little late. But other than the apologies, thank you guys for joining. Thanks for Rocha for helping us get over 100 subscribers. Obviously, Josh and Sean shouted us out through the way. Sir, and just all these guys for joining, man. Corrupts, and Donnie, thank you guys for joining. Both of you, this is your second time joining, so I just appreciate everyone for joining. Staying up a little bit late just to do this podcast with us. You don't understand what that means to me, and probably to the two co-hosts here. Everybody go watch these guys stream tomorrow. The playoffs are gonna be crazy, man. Be Christian. I might do a couple of Sixers games. Isaiah might do Lakers games. Sir, he might do games. Rocha, Josh, Sean, everyone's gonna be grinding during the playoffs, man. So I just appreciate all of you for supporting us, supporting them, and it's your boy MG Nas, and I'm out.
And again, I want to thank you guys real quick. I don't want to speak this fast. I just want to do it fast. Thank you guys again, Josh, Sean, always being there, as well as Rocha, Sir, always supporting us as the young cats here, and Donnie, Corrupt as well. Thank you guys so much for supporting, being here on this with us. And as always, like I like to say before I leave, this is a very good time to say, piss off, cunts.